What is up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I'm your host, Edward Anderson. I'm gonna give y'all a couple minutes while y'all come in here. Oh man, I appreciate it. Shout out to Treese O'Neal with the 13.99. Much appreciated, man. Already starting off the bat. Appreciate what's up, compassionate call outs. Make sure y'all check his channel out as well. He's on TikTok as well as YouTube. I'll probably share his links in the community tab. And this is kind of me saying what's up. I didn't want to like string this out too long with doing a stream, and I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of talk about the channel. I'll have some people up on the panel as well. And I appreciate that. I mean, this is congratulations for me. This is congratulations for y'all as well, because I couldn't have did this without you all. And this will give me opportunity to kind of talk about, as you can see in the title, where I've been, where I'm going, kind of why it took as long as it did, because that's completely on me. But give an explanation with that. And one of the things that humbled me too is a couple of people left a comment, not just because of this, because some of the stuff they see me doing, saying that they're inspired. They are inspired to do a YouTube channel because of maybe some videos and stuff that I'm putting out there. And look, man, I'm here to tell you, especially like it doesn't matter what age you are. Let me say that first, because Lord knows people are asking Black Huru to create a channel, and Black Huru is 60. Um, but because but if you're on the younger end, I haven't said this recently, but I said if you're like in your 20s, especially if you're in your 20s, even if you're like 29 or 30, 31, but if you're like 25, 26, you should definitely, get involved. It doesn't have to be anywhere is like in depth. It's like what I do or the same way I would do it. I would actually tell you not to do it the same way as I do. Because my channel is not really done my channel is like a vlog. It's basically something that allows me to kind of express what I want to express. And so for that reason, I've always never the priority has never been to like monetize a channel. This is why certain things that could have been turned on wasn't turned on. I didn't even take super chats for my first 2 years doing this. And so we'll get into the kind of the origin of the channel, especially for new people or people that's been around maybe since like my channel got demonetized for a minute with the shorts, and then I kind of let go of the thing. So yeah, we're gonna jump into that, and yeah, that's basically what we're gonna talk about today. But there's gonna be other stuff that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about some of the things I've said I was gonna do and hasn't happened, and that sort of thing too. So appreciate the dude with the super chat. We're gonna give
Last
him a
wish, please, please, please. Last wish. I wish you had more time.
so make sure y'all share this so people can get going. Shout out to Mr. Z, because I know Mr. Z was live early today. I didn't get a chance to get on his stuff. I know AB will be going live later on today. So yeah. And maybe so we're gonna talk about that. So, shout out to Ray Hanna. Ray Hanna is definitely going all the way back to one of my day ones. I'm listening at day one, Pharaoh day one. Prince Zakaria has been here for a long, long time, pretty much at day one. Tampa Supreme has been here for a long time. Tampa Supreme, his I would call is in the MAD department, the Manosphere Accountability Department, because he will throw out critiques, constructive critiques every once in a while, although he hasn't done it in a while. And like I said, constructive criticism is constructive criticism. And even if it's not constructive, if it's like something is being said, it is what it is. But he's been here pretty much from the beginning as well. Pretty much considered day one as well. Shout out to Pragmatic Prime, and yeah. So I want more of y'all getting here. I want to get at least 50 in here, um, and just 50 in here while people build it up. So we got some stuff going on. Shout out to Ryan. Ryan gave me a $10 cash app, and he wanted me to talk about Michelle Obama. So there is a video that will be coming up with that. You'll probably get like 2 videos. I'll probably talk about it in stream, but I'm also going to do a former video with Michelle Robinson, because that is her maiden last name. And people can say that's disrespectful, but I'm like, her having Obama looking awkward like that, no, I don't want to hear that. I mean, I'm not, I may even do a Patreon video voice note and put it on Patreon, because on Patreon I can just wild out. I'm not gonna just be crazy, but I don't gotta worry about monetizing it, so I can let you know what I really think. And on a public video, I'm gonna go in too, but also, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Shout out to YouTube. YouTube for the most part hasn't shadow banned my channel. Honestly, YouTube has been very reasonable, at least with some of the stuff I've said and done. I've gotten strikes and stuff, but and one thing that YouTube is doing differently, and I don't know if that's Trump, but now when a video gets demonetized, when a video gets demonetized, they will give, and you review it and they deny the review, then what they will actually do is they will actually by the way, I may share Culture Clinician's video, because I gotta do that. I gotta do that video. He's got a video on Michelle Obama as well right now. He's going live, so I may share that when I go through it. Yeah, we about to monetize this. Also, you got you've got Lori Harvey getting back in the news. Lori Harvey's back in the news. Apparently, rumor has it she's going to do Playboy, which is funny because everybody trying to now backdoor make Hugh Hefner look like a pedo, but on the same time, nobody's going to really critique her for doing that. And so it looked like she's trying to get that OnlyFans money. Yeah, appreciate that, Angela. Appreciate a couple of females that definitely, of support, was Angela, Gail, Kareen. I got a few. So yeah, we'll get so it's gonna be some stuff. It's some videos that's out here. Shout out to King Little. So let's jump right in here, because people can always catch it on the replay. And like I said, I want to bang this out for about 30-40 minutes, and then do a panel maybe for like an hour and a half and see where that goes. Keep this within a 2-hour range and lead y'all into kind of AB. So here's the thing. Once upon a time, there was an idea, to do a agent, a shield agent, Avengers reference. There was an idea. So basically the way this started was, and we'll start with talking about quote unquote this journey I had in this content, because truth be told, I've always been red pilled. I even when I was more in like rose pill mode, I've always been that type of person. Straight up. So oh yeah, and like I was saying before I jump into it, yeah, if anybody's like, wanting to reach out to me for some advice on starting a YouTube channel with this content or something similar to this content, email me either at edwardanderson300k at gmail, or I would say the easiest thing to do is to hit me up on Patreon. And so on Patreon, go come in as a free member, and that way I'll set up a live chat just for free members, and set up a live chat, or you can just DM me that way. Because if you do it on Patreon, I know you're serious. And then Patreon is something I check every day, versus Facebook. I'm like an absentee father on Facebook, although I am planning on kind of having a growth strategy via Facebook. So I will be on my Facebook page a lot more than I have been. And so there's a lot of stuff that's gonna probably start to happen on Facebook, especially with me doing the AI stuff, and different stuff with that. So I got, a lot of stuff going on. So definitely, I don't want to really go. I have a lot of stuff that I could probably do. Now, as far as consultations, I'm not necessarily saying, I'm selling consultations. I really don't plan on it. You ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. And a lot of that kind of serves as, if I can see, okay, these things that I'm telling you are really giving traction, I may frame that in a consultation later on. But for right now, if you ask me if, especially if it's around this content, there's a lot of stuff that if I would do it over again, I would do it very differently, because the intention of it would have been differently. And to be truth be told, I got a secondary channel that's got almost 500 people, which by the way, I want y'all to subscribe to, because that channel is going to be mainly a shorts channel. That's designed to be a backup, and it's going to be a shorts channel, because I'm going to create shorts on this channel, But the truth is, shorts is like a different algorithm. So people that watch shorts don't necessarily watch long form content, not necessarily. So what happens is you get these subscribers, all these subscribers, but there's no viewership with it. So I plan on making that a launch shorts channel, and then I may do live streams on there too as a backup. But that will primarily serve as a shorts channel first and foremost. And that will kind of split that. So I'll be sharing that a lot more. That link is in the description. So I do plan on starting up different stuff, but ultimately I want to get this channel kind of where I want it to be. Because the subscriber count is just one indication of a healthy channel. Having high subscriber count don't mean nothing if you're not getting no watch time or stuff like that from it. And so those are really what I'm working on, and that is getting better. I'm experimenting with what you all like to see, what is attracting other people, which is within the audience of the spirit of this channel. Like some of the uploads with some of the video content is doing very well. When I re-upload certain stuff, just like a clip, because I know everybody can't necessarily watch an hour 2 hour long stream. I know y'all got other stuff to do, and then y'all could bang me out at 1.25 playback speed, stuff like that. So that stuff is still in experimental stage, and it's all good. So definitely reach out. I definitely have no problem giving y'all information. Trust me, the information I know from my experience doing this, and not only doing this, but in other stuff. I can tell you right now, it is worth me charging you for, but that's kind of like me giving back to the community. So if anybody's looking at that, you can. For example, and I said this in the comment with the dude that mentioned it. For example, there's a website, and I'll show you all right now because I'm not just saying stuff to be saying stuff. There's a website called tunestotube.com. There's a website called tunestotube.com, and tunestotube.com will allow you to simply use your phone. Use your phone. Um, like let's say, okay, if you have an iPhone, you all have voice memos. Voice memos records at like M4A. I use an app that does kind of a bigger file because it's good. It does it in a WAV file because that's good audio. Um, I do a lot of different audio inputs, but I know y'all have iPhones, you got Android, you can download any voice recorder. It is what it is. But you all can record directly from your phone like a voice memo. I'm gonna keep it real. Sometimes I'll record stuff directly from Telegram, and I'll just download it. I actually got a Patreon upload that I'm gonna do that I just recorded. It was basically somebody asking me. I'll show you the context because it's just somebody showing me a screenshot and what my response to that was. Because I believe in keeping people stuff private, but I don't do this, but I could do this. Like I literally could. Like for example, as you can see, Tunes of Tube is actually free. So you do continue, and then let's say we do, my email, and as you can see, it's asking which YouTube I want to do. Let's just do the Edward 300K. You just do this. You all should be seeing this. Yeah. And this is just an example, and this is not something put on game. And I literally, it says select an audio file up to 25 megabytes. So yeah, WAV files are going to be bigger, so you probably want to get lesser files. And then you can select any image, title, description. The only thing with the tags is the tags, you got to really type them in, but you can always put the tags in later. So title, description, private, public, unlisted. And if you don't want to do an image, you could create a background image. You can do this from your phone. Like you can literally go into the files of your phone and do it from your phone. And if you wanted to upgrade, it has if you wanted to do plan one, $6.99 a month, $18.99 for 6 months, which is essentially what $3. $3 it's $3 a month. So 19 divided by 6. Yeah, it's $3.16 per month. And you don't even need to do that. You can do it for free. Although you'll be able to do bigger files, so longer files. Obviously. And so anyway, my point is you can do this directly from your phone and just start spitting your opinions on stuff on the phone, put a picture to it. You could get on Canva for free and do a picture. Would you put your Cash App on the lower right hand side, maybe an icon you mess with, or a picture of whatever you want to do, if you all like it, whatever. And you could just do it, do the same picture, do that, go and do it from your phone, upload goes right to YouTube. And then you go into the studio thing if you want to mess with the tags. Because truth be told, depending on what you want to do, you don't even always got to tag the video if you title it right. And then with the plan, you could have like automatically the same description if you want to do a description, or you just have your Cash App on there right there. Like you don't have, and to get started, you don't have to do all the edits. You can just do that with y'all phones. Most of y'all got good phones. You could do this really with a cheap phone, like a cheap phone, older phone. But most of y'all got phones that are at least 3 years old. So my point is you don't have to, and y'all see how I do it. Now it took me longer because I did it the way that I did it. But ultimately, if you saying some real stuff and people gravitate towards that, it is what it is, especially if y'all be on panels from time to time and stuff. I see some of y'all Inspire Troop stuff. I don't be really digging in all people's channels like that, like I could be. But my point is, all y'all really need is your phone, and then put that stuff out. Even if you're not really trying to grow a YouTube channel, but you want to put your opinion out there on a topic, you can do that, and you'd be surprised. Because once obviously you do a video, you can share that on your Twitter. If you got Twitter, you can share that on whatever you see, blah blah blah. Like it's a lot of shoestring stuff that people could do to get involved and then get an audience, whatever. My point is I can talk about that. Email me. Like I got a lot of stuff. I'll probably put a lot of that stuff on the Patreon as well as a way of adding value, value to people to get into a certain tier, and I can just dump all that stuff. Like, trust me, it's stuff that if I wanted to really compile it into like $100, it would be well worth it for 100, especially if you serious, because it's a lot of stuff that I know. Some of the stuff I don't deploy because again, I'm not trying to. My objective is not to just just grow the channel. I really should, but that's not my objective. Is to just give y'all sugar and stuff like that. But Lord knows I have a lot of information. And I'm not even talking about information I got from somebody else, or like I bought a Lee Attorneys program and I'm giving you that. I'm talking about unique stuff that I have looked at, and people that do give you great sauce for free. So if y'all are kind of interested in that, but y'all not trying to dole out a whole bunch of money, but y'all want to know kind of who really has the details on certain stuff. Even if you just want to do shorts, and you want to repost like videos, I'm actually working on that, reposting videos and how to do it without getting your channel messed up. So anyway, that's I wanted to talk about that. Get that out of the way first, so we see we got enough people. Yeah, I mean, I could do that, and I'm not against selling courses either. Generally, my sales proposition with courses and stuff is what I do is if I have a program like on business stuff, I give you the training for free, which could be sold as a course, but you just come into the program. Because if I can get you making money, then that actually helps me. So that's generally how that works. So it's like a community and stuff. So anyway, that's a different thing, but that's coming. So that being said, let's start. And again, like when I get to about 30-40 minutes, where I'm gonna drop the link. So let's start in the beginning. So beginning of this Red Pill journey, this is actually going to be a unique opportunity for any of you all that are new to see what I'm on, where this comes from, blah, 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 blah. For y'all that's been around me for a minute, I haven't talked about this in a minute, and in probably a few years, to be honest with you. So let's start the Red Pill journey. First of all, like I said before, I've always been red pilled, rose pilled. I've always looked at things for what am I trying to get out of it? Where's the reciprocation there? What's in it for me? Where is the kind of yeah. And it's not me being selfish. It just is what it is. And so even going all the way back into high school, like early high school, and you gotta understand too, I'm short. I'm 5'5", and that's important because you have to understand there's certain things I had to accept very early. When it comes to understanding, what female, and this is not being angry at women or anything like that, but understand what female nature is, what women want, and stuff like that, how to navigate that and still get what I want out of them. Because I'm gonna keep it real with you, I'm not doing dealing with ugly chicks. I'd be incel before I deal with ugly chicks. I would just be like, I would find my way around that. Like, I'm not on this. This is why I kind of come at y'all so hard about some of y'all. It'd be better for y'all to practice semen retention than y'all be dealing with some of the females some of y'all be dealing with. Now, y'all want to do target practice. I'm not here to shame y'all. That is what it is. Target practice has its value, but I respect my phallus more than that. And that's just me. But that's just me. And that's not me judging nobody. That's just saying what it's saying. But luckily I didn't necessarily have that problem. Some people would say it was because I was light skinned. If I would have been dark skinned and I went to high school from 2001 to 2005. So they say if I was dark skinned and short, it were worse. I wouldn't know nothing about that, boy. I do tell dudes that tend to try to say that is you want to trade my skin tone for your height, and they always shut up. So it ain't never that big of a deal. It's just them hating. I'm like, that's what I thought. But my point is, I don't come from this space of, I just have an issue dealing with women or black. I just don't. Now it may come off like that, but I don't. Like, my main philosophy is, deal with who deals with you, and if nobody's dealing with you, then you need to look at what you need to change in order to make that happen. Straight up. So the straight up. And my also philosophy is women, black women in particular, they can pick whoever they want to pick. The issue I have is they're not accountable to their decisions. And when I say accountable, I'm not saying that they got to come to us and they owe us an explanation. What I'm saying is they sit here and they create these narratives that not only harm black men as adults, but black boys. They tell their kids these narratives. They tell everybody that will hear it these narratives. We saw these narratives in the talk show circuit. Remember, I'm 38. I grew up in that circuit. That Montel Williams, Ricky Lake, Oprah. I was younger on that end. In the 90s, you got all this simp music, all this women making music about the dudes they picking, but they can't control. Or the dudes that they know they shouldn't deal with because they know what they on, but they sexually attracted and saw that transition to the straight up simp music. I mean, this is the era I grew up in. So again, I don't come at this with I've always had a certain clear eye. I've never been allowed to be wrapped around the coats of delusion on that. So, and that just is what it is. And I'm saying all this to give you an explanation as to, where I'm coming from. And on top of that, even historically with history and stuff, I've always looked past certain things. History is the only thing I decided to take AP classes on, because the only thing I knew I put in the effort because I actually wanted to do it, even though they wanted me in other AP classes. But I was like, I don't feel like doing all that. I just don't. But AP I was interested in. So this is not just with women. This is just what it is. And straight up, people will say, my mom used to say I talk back, which I did not. It's just I didn't just go along with what she said because she said it. She didn't like the fact. It wasn't even me questioning her, because I wouldn't disrespect her in that way. But if she was saying something that was obviously wrong, incorrect, I mean, it was for real incorrect, I could look past that she was my mom. And she used to even say I have a bet it'd be better if I just kiss her, kiss her A to Z. And I'm like, yeah, my brothers did that, but my brothers were manipulating her. My brothers they did that to get what they wanted. I had enough respect for her not to do that. But and so when I say all that to say this, this is who I am. This is not, I didn't go through no situation where I just had to be this. Now, granted, let's be clear here. I'm not gonna say to y'all, I went on dates, I bought flowers, and I did, stupid stuff. Because I came up in the suburbs and I've had my moments where, I've been burned. And I'm gonna keep it real. Black women have not burned me. If I'm gonna keep it all the way real, it's been the chicks that probably burnt me the worst has been Filipino chicks. If I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the Western ones. If I'm gonna be, and I'm this is way before I ever went to the Philippines. If I'm gonna be honest with you, black women actually have not burnt me, because the thing with black women is, they can either get past the height thing or they can't. And if they can't, then I'm not about to sit here. It ain't even about me being mad at somebody. I'm not about to sit here and, and invest in somebody emotionally that a chick could be fine as you know what. But if she's like 5'7", 5'7", that's a it don't matter. It doesn't matter to me, because that it's not even about what she wants. I'm not about to deal with that. So I say all that to say that because of me, because of environment, how I'm wired, because of certain factors, um, to be honest with you, certain factors, and make no mistake, I've dated black women. I've had dudes that they wanted to fight me because they just couldn't deal with the fact that I was dealing with certain chicks. That I'm dead on that. And well, why aren't you married? Why don't you have kids? Because I knew what child support was. My mom had child support with all three of my no, two of all my brothers got different dads. Um and my dad is the only one that didn't pay. So I'm very aware of what that could be, what that is. And that's not saying my mom didn't really hustle like that, because she didn't really hit him up like she actually could have, looking back. But the point is, I knew what that was, and I knew what the situation was. With I knew what that was at a very early age. I understood what the matriarchy and stuff like that was at a very, very early age. Another thing is, my mom don't even get along with women like that. So a lot of this stuff about what women is and blah blah blah. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I say all that to say, I actually came across BGS's channel. I didn't originally come to BGS's channel. Originally, a guy by the name of Soul in Black is when I first saw this type of content. Now I'll say this: before I get to this content, I would have probably been dealing with a lot of quote unquote dating material. And because this is me learning my marketing skills and stuff like that, and some of the marketers I knew were already in the dating space, the dating space was kind of a way of me looking at, okay, how is this stuff applied in a certain niche outside of just make money to be making money. And so that was a way of me really looking at um this is where you had the forums, you had the narratives, you had the mystery stuff. This is where you would see, okay, how could I create products and sell products? Now, I never intended on creating dating products, but it was a thing I was interested in, because this is kind of like a gateway into the social commentary of where this stuff was, kind of the precursor to a lot of these things in the 2000s, really up to what, like 2006, because that's when everything started to really go downhill when it comes to the economy and a lot of other stuff. So to me, this was always social commentary. What is the social climate type of stuff? That's how I saw it. And so when you saw these forums, you saw all this stuff and blah blah blah. This is kind of like a precursor to me getting into quote unquote what would become this space. This space, because you have a whole era where the golden, what I call the golden age dating era, where this stuff was online. People sell products. They were burning kind of through the market, and then mainly white boys were purchasers of these products. Then you had the game thing with black folks. A lot of stuff intersected. Long story short, we get to 2008 and 2012, which is really the Manosphere 1.0, things like Blog Talk Radio, that sort of thing. And then we fast forward to, because I could have a whole bunch of story there, but I'm not. Then we fast forward to me I entered the space through kind of like Blog Talk Radio. And also another thing was the travel child to Charles Tyler. I used to call Charles Tyler show. This is all before BGS and all of that. I used to call Charles Tyler show. This is actually where I kind of found Soul in Black. And then I eventually found BGS, and Soul in Black was on BGS. And this is why I found SWP. Then I found BGS. Ironically, I was actually Ubering somebody like 100 miles away. And I found BGS one day with a video, and like I said, okay, this dude sounds like he knows what he's talking about, boo boo. And then what really codified it with Soul and Black was like around, I think he was on there. That's actual BGS is not the first person I actually came across. There was a couple of things he said in that video that I already kind of knew, but he connected a couple of extra dots and said, oh, okay. And then so I subscribed. But I wasn't really like in the space. And this is when BGS was rolling the Coliseum. The Coliseum. And so I'll pause that there. Shout out again. I'm listening, Pharaoh, Angela, King Little, Landon. Appreciate Landon. Shout out to Nate. Shout out to Forever Bless. Shout out to Javi, Zavi, 10K already. 10K already. Well, we'll get to that. J.S. Kent, Jim Rat, Brother John, Man Code. Shout out to Carl Hudson. Like to see new people in here saying, or new people commenting. Keezy, Danny Brown, Simon Anderson, Tony, Jesse. Shout out to Jesse as well. Compassionate Call Outs, Gail, Charles. Yeah, make sure y'all hit up that super chat, man, for the celebration. So now we're at the BGS situation. So in the Coliseums, I used to call in on Blog Talk Radio, and I would, say, I would give my kind of monologue that I'm giving with Charles Tyler and stuff like that. This is kind of like Passport Bros before Passport Bros. And again, I was interested in that before I ever came across Charles, but I'm always interested in like keeping stuff black because, like I said, we need to be our own resource, right? Now, so Blog Talk, Soul and Black, Blog Talk, me and Soul and Black did a show for a hot second on Blog Talk. Didn't work out, because of me, because, it's one of those things where I had a lot to say and Soul and Black was kind of in the superior position. And I had a lot to say. So, this is one of the precursors that I kind of needed my own channel before anybody ever popped off on me. So we get to the Coliseum. I'm participating in the Coliseum. These are like 8-hour streams. BGS did say he unlocked these streams, so I will be digging into these streams because I was on here week after week because I think a lot of y'all, it gives a lot of insight because we're talking about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. So y'all need to know because, see, I think a lot of this is you all have a lot of, look, I'm not hating on nobody like when it comes to getting into this whatever, right? However, you have a lot of folks that they don't know. They came in post Kevin Samuels and they really don't understand how deep our stuff goes. This is stuff we've been saying. And a lot of people don't understand how much what we've been saying we have been proven right and how deep and early we were saying it. People really don't know that. So a lot of these Johnny come latelys, and again, I'm not hating on them, but they wouldn't have a niche. Kevin wouldn't have had a platform to say what he said if it wasn't for people that laid the groundwork. I'm involved in that, but you could say O'Shea, Angry Man, Obsidian. Let's just call it what it is. And I'm not even talking about 2.0 because Angry Man was around way before that. The groundwork, when we talk child support, the groundwork was laid. And Kevin came in, codified the market, and then that's when all these other folks came in. And at the end of the day, a lot of these folks are really, I'm not saying they're directly just copying us, but they're repeating stuff that's already been laid down. Even the idea of getting super chats didn't exist. If Angry Man wouldn't have cussed people out, I'll give Jap credit for this cussing people out. It was a lot of people that had to pound the pavement, pound people, pause, over and over and over again to get people to super chat. I'm talking about in general, because that was a novel idea. Because it was relatively new. People forget that. It's not a 1.0 thing. That happened like later in 2.0. So all these people was able to come in and kind of get some kind of change, cash out. That's because of what we did. And I didn't really cuss people out about it as much, but they definitely laid the groundwork for that. And so, long story short, those I get, so I need to pull that up because there's value in that. And y'all let me know if y'all want to see that because trust me, we got some stuff. Soul TV 4, Brandon Tatum, a lot of these people before they blew up. And it gives you a lot of insight into what was being said and what these arguments were being made at that time. So yeah. So shout out to Alan Lavelle, shout out to Nyong'o Savage. Shout out to, my non-FBA people that definitely supported, even with the FBA v non-FBA commentary, because I got Nanga Boko, Jim Rat. I got people that are my day ones that are not FBA as well, whether they're Jamaican, Nigerian. Those typically be the main two groups. So yeah, FYI. It's not even about credit. I don't At this point I don't even care about credit. It's just so you all number one, those videos are entertaining. Those are very entertaining conversations. We're talking about going all the way back to the Google Hangout days. Um, but it's very good giving those conversations in context, to like what's going on now, so people can understand, because black people have this thing where everything is like virgining and new. No, this stuff has been said. It's just people been ignoring it. The reason why it took as long as it did for stuff to pop off is because what the women were basically doing, it was, we're going to ignore it to death. If it doesn't get attention, it won't grow. If it doesn't get sunlight, then we were growing anyway. COVID happened, and then Kevin happened. But truth be told, before Kevin, MTR was growing, people were growing. It's just they grew at a next level once he codifies the market and people were in position, like Poor Man, all of that. That's when you start to see a lot of the real purple pill channels, or royal blue channels like Ace Metaphors and stuff like that, to get money out of it. Shout out to Alan Lavelle with the $5 hurricane tax. Much appreciated. Yeah, as you all can see, I'm on one right now. So yeah, this is gonna be one of these. I'm firing on all cylinders today. You get a let's do a yeah, I gotta get these videos. You get a mind. Much appreciated, much appreciated. And so, long story short, we get to BGS and we get to these coliseums, and I'm on these, and ironically, I'm on these coliseums also with Angry Man's channel. My day ones come from three places. They come from BGS, they come from Angry Man, and they come from O'Shea. I'd say a little bit more O'Shea. I'd probably say BGS first, O'Shea second, Angry Man third, if I had to rank like the amount. And I used to call in the Angry Man's show all the time. That was kind of like a segue from like the main event I would be at, which is BGS's Coliseums, which he would have, I believe, yeah, every Saturday. And these would be 8-hour things. And this stuff, and you had a lot, like some of the people now, a lot of the people then as well, they aren't in the space as much anymore because they moved on. Shout out to Marcus A. Brown, shout out to King Sigma, who actually came up with the term Passport Bros. And so we had these debates, these conversations. You had women come in there every once in a while. That's where BGS for women kind of started to come in, because women would be getting questioned, court-martialed, because it wasn't often a woman would come on there. And you had other things spinning off at it, panels and stuff like that. But that was kind of the main thing that circled it. And then Angry Man always did his own thing. And then O'Shea, did his stuff before he did the celebrity junk stuff. And then the Rumble kind of came after BGS kind of closed the Coliseum. Remember, you had the Negro Manosphere blog, which I still think was like great. Like if we would have had that now, but I think that's more work than what O'Shea was getting out of it. So shout out to O'Shea with that. Like I could almost imagine having a Negro Manosphere and having that compete with like the Jasmine brand. Like even if you're not doing articles, at the very least, if you were doing an Instagram page and stuff like that, like that's actually one of the next things we need to do, so we can source all information rather than depending on theirs. And shout out to NBA fan as well, one of my day ones. $20, which I appreciate the $20. And so yeah, and we were all it's like Mortal Kombat verbally. Like sometimes even though people on the same team, they will argue back and forth depending on the topic. And most people were on more the pro black tip, but I've always been pretty consistent. Like I haven't really moved. Like people have caught up to me. There's certain stuff that I said that I stood on. the gynocracy, I wasn't tarping about it as much back then, but I was saying, look, these chicks are not, dude, this is not some black men are doing this and they're responding. No, there's a status quo that's being maintained. Now, I wasn't calling it gynocracy then, but early on, BGS will tell you, because my biggest thing before I started harping on the gynocracy, which was why are black people, black men not working together? Why are black people not working together? So, for example, I used to be, I am what you call a economic pro-black, meaning I'm gonna follow people kind of like Dr. Clark Anderson, and that kind of led me into Boyce Watkins stuff. But Boyce Watkins is not a really good mantle of Dr. Clark Anderson stuff, and he's got a lot of petty stuff. This is like before even Cynthia G was on there, like on his stuff. So before she was doing what she was doing. But long story short, when you look at the five floors, what is it? Politics, economics, which is the resources, politics, which is the division of the resources, legal, education, and then communication, or communication and then education at the top. There was something missing. And when BGS started talking with the gynocracy, I was like, that's what it is. And that's what the word is for it. And it's culture. So I always knew culture was the problem, but I didn't have a name of what the culture was. This black hole that keeps pulling everything. What is the status quo that keeps pulling everything into it? That's keeping these conversations circular, black men not working together. It's the gynocracy. And that's the gynocracy is not just is not blaming women. The women are a manifestation of it. But the truth is the gynocracy is backed up by white supremacy. Without if white people don't fund the gynocracy cannot exist. That's just a fact. And so it's not women imposing their will on men. It's women. It's basically women serving as the managers of it. Basically, we are a quote unquote colonized group, and the colonizer would be white people, and women operate at the top of that chain. That's really what it is. Without their support, it'd be almost like Afghanistan. In order for that government to be in Afghanistan, it was in Afghanistan to be over the Taliban, you have to have America backing it up. What happened when America left? It instantly, when I say instantly failed, it's this close thing to instant. Literally, not even a week happened. Not even a week. And we spent all that time in there, 10 years, not even a week. Not even a week. We should tell you everything you need to know. Not even a week. And y'all remember that. So my point is, and people will call in because I give a lot of, some insightful stuff with Angry Man to give his input on my stuff. And then I kind of come in and leave. As far as like, calling in, because he had more of a call in show style thing. Then obviously I do the Coliseum, be on the Coliseum. And then with O'Shea, I think O'Shea would have panels from time to time, but it wasn't the Rumble, and I do that. Long story short, I got a lot to say. So me having a lot to say, it used to get on a lot of people's nerves. Now I'm gonna keep it real with you. A lot of you got people like Angry Man, O'Shea. O'Shea wasn't really on the Coliseum like that, by the way, but he came every once in a while. He probably came maybe 3-4 times a year. It was that once in a while. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. And look, there's incredibly smart people on the panel. I don't pretend to be the smartest. And some of it was I like to talk too much. But at the same time, you have some people, they weren't saying nothing. And because they weren't saying nothing, in my opinion, of its importance, I would insert my stuff. And so, people that built up a lot of bad blood with certain people. People didn't like that because I was taking up a lot. Regardless, I was taking a lot of oxygen in the room. And people would murmur about it, say something every once in a while, but it never became a consistent, thing. And so this is where the channel comes in. We do all that leading to 2016, where the channel comes in September. I think it's around September 11th, around when my channel starts, somewhere around there. It's like a day forward, a day backwards. And ironically, so September of 2016 is when is when the channel got started. My first video, I think my first couple of videos, one was talking about universal basic income. In fact, let me see if I can go I don't know if I can go all the way back, but I may go all the way back. First video was talking about universal basic income and Hawaii doing an experimental program with universal basic income. That was literally my first video. And then the other video I did was a movie review of a movie review of Birth of a Nation. Those are like the first couple of videos that I did. I mean, we'll go through that right now. The first couple of videos that I did. And I have never traditionally done a lot of upload videos, and that's probably one of the things I would always tell somebody. That'd be the advice. Like, do uploads. Video, to me, shorts. If shorts hit, they hit, but if they don't, they don't. Video uploads is always going to do the best in the algorithm, because even if you blow up in shorts, it takes a lot to maintain shorts. Yeah, so Birth of a Nation was my first video. And it's actually saying 8 years ago. So it's probably, I'm saying 6 years. Yeah. So now we're talking about 8 years. So,
This is Black Source Codes here, and I want to do a review on the Birth of a Nation. So here's the deal. Albeit a smaller role. And actually, one thing I'm going to keep in mind is this is actually going to be a very spoiler-free review.
Yeah, so I didn't really, and Black Source Codes, that was the original name of the channel before I decided to just do Edward Anderson. Remember, we didn't have usernames like that, and that email is I still have that email today, although I do the Edward Anderson 300K. And so the day ones know about that email. That's where that symbol comes from with the Morpheus thing that you all see. This is before the hurricane thing kind of happened. So, I was giving a review on it back when this video is coming out, before they threw Nate Parker under the bus. So you got that video. I don't want to go into all these videos because this will lead it into more time than I want it to be, because we're already at 46 minutes. But you've got that video. You've got, oh crap. So I've got 201 uploads. Now as far as total videos I have thousands of videos. We'll go into the live in a second. So yeah, and some of these I may repost because a lot of these are unlisted, they're private. So I had Crack Era 2.0, talk about the heroin epidemic. I had the social Slate 2.0, Hawaii takes on universal basic income. The rejection of Black feminism. These are all like in 2017, a lot of these. So my channel started pretty much the true. So this is a whole like initial era of the channel, and this is when I was doing more uploads and not doing and even then I was still getting 200 views, because I had a pretty good audience. That's an audience I had pulled from even then, and then I got away from uploads for years because again I just wanted to fire off the videos I wanted to fire off. Now as far as live videos, I have 1,974. So I have over 2,000 videos that I've done. I have over 2,000 videos that I've done, and yeah, I can't even go that far into all these videos. Like, in fact, I would have to do dates. I'd have to do, no, this is how you do it. You do filter for visibility. Let's do unlisted, private, and then yeah, you go all the way back. stop having kids. Yeah. So, and a lot of my stuff traditionally, I haven't done. So, I mean, yeah, we, yeah, you know, yeah. So, and shout out to NBA fan.
Last wish, please, please, please. Last wish. I wish you had more time. Hey, hey.
Let me see comments. Appreciate Great Dane with the $2. Much appreciate that. Appreciate Alan again. Appreciate Library Call Holder. Congratulations, around the corner. Keep pushing. Oh yeah, it won't take this long for me to get to 20,000. I'll get to 20,000 relatively quickly. Because what I've never done is I've never done the tour of this space, of the space where I collaborate with other people, and I'm still keeping that in my back pocket. So when my momentum is really where I want it to be, but that's coming. That'll probably come the second quarter of this year, because then I'll have everything exactly how I want it. Well, I mean, one thing about Boyce is at the end of the day, Boyce does do kind of some of the work that needs to be done. And so it's like I can, dress him down without doing all the extra name calling and stuff. Cause then he'll be the same one that gets mad when Tariq calls him Crispy. Tommy, like for real, for real. And so anyway, long story short, that's where the channel got started. And then you have eras. So each year to me is like its own like season. Season 1 was like the initial season where I'm doing a lot of red pill content. And I've been doing that. And you look at what's going on in the space. Season 2, season 2 was like the Rumble. Season 1, you still had the Coliseum. Season 1 and 2. Season 3, you had like the Rumble era. Season 3 you have, which is like the War on the Roses, I call it. Then when basically then you get into 2020, then you get into Kevin's era, COVID. Yeah, he came up with a game with it. He said the time was learned why. Yeah, it literally was that bad. So I mean, that's what supports the gynocracy. And so we get to where we get to. And so anyway, I did 50 minutes. I want to drop the link real quick. And like I said, we can talk about, I mean, I'll keep, link real quick. People saying when they first found my channel, like what we're gonna talk about when you first found my channel, like, and stuff like that. Y'all got other stuff to kind of hit on, we can hit on it, but yeah. And so I want to give y'all kind of history of where this stuff comes from. Like for real, for real. With that. As far as where the channel is currently, oh, here's another thing I wanted to say too. As far as where the channel is currently, um, give me 1 second. Let me give you 1 second. I still got you. You're still up here. I'm just got you behind. As far as where the channel is currently, as you can see, currently on the channel is the state of Edward Anderson's channel. Here's the deal. A couple months ago, like 3-4 months, like in August, not even like in August, I got my channel back. Before then, I had got community struck. I got demonetized. I got demonetized because I was uploading YouTube videos and I was uploading TikTok videos as shorts. And pretty much what happened was they said I was just reposting content. Now my thing is, it's not even on your platform, from your platform, to how are you able to detect that that's what it is when you don't control a platform? But whatever. Long story short, that's what they said, and then I was demonetized. So I had to get my demonetization back. That took me like 3 months, but YouTube actually gave it to me quicker than what they said, but it was still like a couple of months. And so the reason why I was uploading those YouTube those shorts was because rather than me doing these Edward Anderson lives and you all not really knowing what I'm talking about, I said, hey, let me upload these videos. That way you all can have context to what I'm talking about. 3-minute videos, 2-minute videos, 90-second videos. And then they started to take off. And I turned the monetization on because at first they weren't on. And one of them got up to 250,000 views. A couple of them 10,000. So this is when early on I realized that could work. But I just didn't modify the videos enough for YouTube, because there's different things like adding captions, there's different things you can do. And as you can see with some of these channels are more reaction channels. So that kind of hit my channel hard. And another thing is I gained a lot of I had 6,000 before, and that boosted me up to about 8,000 subs. So 2,000 of these subs are really from YouTube, and I'm really from the shorts, and those subs typically I don't count. So even with the 10,000, that's not necessarily reflected in different stuff. Like that's not necessarily reflected in the stuff that I wanted. So the health of the channel is not where I want it to be, as far as how it is in the algorithm, and that's completely my fault. But we are at 10,000, and that number is kind of a vanity number I wanted to get. So this kind of, allows me to kind of do other stuff. Where the channel's going forward, I'll kind of talk about that towards the end, because I ain't trying to have these people just hang out to be hanging out. So what is up, Nate? What is up, Pharaoh? Pharaoh is another day one. What is up?
Yo, what's up, Ed?
What's
You know,
going
I just
on?
want to
What's
say
going on?
congratulations. You know, you paid the way. I remember my first time watching the Manosphere content. It was like early 2018. It was Solo TV 84. I didn't know how I got into it. I was just searching up topics. Like I was searching up top cities to date because I was in college at the time and I had bought my first car. So I just wanted to explore outside my social circle and find new experiences. That's how I got into content creators like Solo TV 84, MTR, AMS, and you guys, y'all paid the way because back then, well, not back then with y'all, from like around 2018, around that time, it was a lot of content creators, but they were just indirect, and they wasn't really, they told the truth, but they told it in a way that's like, I'm gonna sell you something.
They danced around it. Yeah, they tried to funnel. They used the truth to try to funnel you, meaning they give some good gems. Yeah, Solo was in the dating space, and I knew Solo. I knew Solo from, because Solo would be on the Coliseum stuff as well. And so, I get up there mainly to support him. I mean, there's a lot of good Google Hangouts. Solo had a lot of good streams, good streams that are lost streams, but I kind of know where they are in the Google search. So I'll bring some of those up. But he was in the kind of dating space. Solo knew MTR before MTR blew up, like blew up at all. Like when MTR had like maybe 10,000 subscribers. And MTR used to go on Solos, and that's how MTR kind of knows who I am. And obviously I didn't really know Fresh and Fit and Myra. Marty knows Solo too from way back, even before I knew Marty. So just to give you another thumb. So yeah, so Solo was kind of like an outpost of like a cross section between like the white manosphere, the black manosphere, the kind of old school dating market, old school kind of dating like content. So I came up there more to support but obviously, speaking on his channel more the current status of the dating market between black men and black women, and then like what black men's options. Because remember, SYSBM was very taboo at this time, because you still had a lot of pro-black stuff in the space. People hadn't really realized how bad the women were. I did, but they didn't. And they were still on the, let's Keisha just needs a little bit of coaching tip. So yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I kind of was Solo. So absolutely. And
and I
then Solo
remember
went the
MTR.
direction of the crypto.
Yeah,
So go
I
ahead.
remember MTR used to had women on his panel, and they used to just review stuff all the time. I don't remember. I don't know if he still do that though, but
Who?
MTR. I remember he used to have like women on his panel, and they just do reaction videos.
He
That's
did.
how.
He did some of that. He doesn't do that as much anymore because he doesn't have to. I mean, MTR, to his credit, if you go to his oldest video, he still has his reviews. The reason they call it mediocre tutorial and reviews is because he had mediocre tutorials and reviews. And if you go to his early videos, he still has those videos up. And his channel wasn't intended to be his channel wasn't intended to be the content he does now. He
Right.
he just lucked with it and kind of ran with it, and the rest is history. So kudos for him. But I know I still ain't watched what y'all said he said, so I still got to jump in on that. But that ain't going nowhere. But yeah. All right, absolutely, Nate. And so who else wants to jump in?
Yeah, I can
Pharaoh's
jump
on.
in. Oh,
Pharaoh's on here second.
no,
Yeah,
go
my
ahead.
bad. And then Archer. I
No,
think that
go
was
ahead.
Archer.
Okay, y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me just fine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, oh man, congratulations on the 10K, man. It's been a long time coming. Like you said, day one. Now, it's funny, it's crazy how I found y'all because it was a domino effect. So, I came and found the space in 2017. I first came and I found the channel, well, not you guys' channel. I was looking for information because my coworker, when I was driving for um, JB Hunt at the time, because I'm a truck driver, he was going through shit with his baby moms and with child support. So I was looking at info and I came through a channel. His name is Chris Smith, aka the League of Dads, and he was tied in with Angry Man because Angry Man was going through that,
Yeah.
years ago. So next thing you know, I started following Angry Man, and then I used to hear you call into the show sometimes, and I was like, "Yo, who is this brother spitting fucking facts?" So then I guess because of the algorithm, BGS came up, K Soul and Black. What's the other motherfucker? You always bring him up. Sergeant Willie P. And then it just came as a domino. So I started listening to all of you guys, mainly in BGS. And the reason why with BGS is I like to get more because I'm a history buff to like the background and literally the history of how the black community, how we got to where we are today. And I just thought that BGS knowledge was just like second to none. I kind of put him up there with his knowledge like Scott Ritter. So, and then the coincidence when he had his Coliseum, you came over there. I said, what is the coincidence of this same individual coming over here? Who was his name? And they said Edward Anderson. So, when you did I think I came on the panel with you a couple of times before you even started your channel. And then it went for there, man. I say it like this. I've always said that you was literally like a decade before anybody else, as I would say, and it's good to have your knowledge, especially you, BGS, Angry Man. I'll even throw in Black Ram and everybody else. Without y'all, I really do think that a lot of brothers, you guys do a lot of service for Gen Z. And because you guys kind of anticipate what was going to happen in the future years ago up till now, it's happening. I mean, it just solidified that you guys had like world class knowledge. So, man, salute to you for that, man. Congratulations.
No, absolutely, and I appreciate that. Yeah, we got to find those older videos. Like I said, BGS did unlock a lot of the older stuff, but I know, I know how to go through this stuff like fast forward and dig through those conversations to really come up the nuggets. And shout out to the truck drivers because the original stuff, the original reason we popped up. Yeah, Archer was about to be next, but he got it when he come back. The original reason why, well, truck drivers is always kind of like the hidden audience, people driving overnight, because a lot of our conversations would go overnight on Saturday. Sometimes they would go all the way up to 6, 7 in the morning. Because remember, BGS is on the West Coast. So they were always kind of that hidden audience, whether it's us, Angry Man, any the others. So Jesse, shout out to Archer. Archer is a day one. So I know Archer's gonna pop back up. Shout out to Pharaoh. Pharaoh is another day one. And so let's what is up, Jesse?
What's going on, brother? Been a long time.
Yeah, so I mean Jesse go back further. Like he can speak on the dating stuff and that early stuff further than me. And before people let me I do see some people hit the cash app. So and I appreciate y'all rotating in and rotating out. I definitely appreciate that. Shout out to Montrez with the $5. Much appreciated, brother. Shout out to Landon with the dollar. Look, all dollars ADM, all dollars matter, yo. They definitely do. They add up. They do add up. Me looking at like a year of the year of these statements, they do be adding up. So much appreciated. And yeah, so I mean, Chronicle rather than you necessarily finding me, because we've been kind of on the Coliseum and stuff like that together for the most part. Chronicle either your journey, kind of where you initially encountered me, but what your journey was, especially in this space, and because I think you can uniquely kind of do that.
Okay. Well, first of all, man, congratulations on the 10K. It's been a long time coming, so salute on that.
Yeah, it took long. I may do a whole video on why it took as long as it did rather than add it to this one. But it it was because, at this point I just wanted to put the stuff out. I wasn't really intentional about trying to grow a channel. It was more like I just want to fire this stuff out here. That way I ain't firing it on nobody else's panel and then they get mad at me. And I did that for probably too long. If I would have kept on doing the video uploads when I originally started it like 3 years ago, when Bernard was still live, yeah, this channel probably be at like, let's just say I wouldn't be working. I'll at least say that. I wouldn't be working. So, but that's on me. And them uploads, I be getting tired of them uploads. But the thing, because I be wanting to put out visual quality. I be wanting to tell stories visually as well, but that takes a lot of editing, man. But
Yep,
yeah.
I feel you. This shit takes a lot of work. But yeah. So me and you specifically met pretty much on the Coliseum. I came across the Coliseum randomly, man, in the algorithm. It was one of those
Same.
shows where they was trying to go in on millennials, and I was like, oh hell no, I'm about to hop up on this thing. And so I had to I actually came at Kevin Samuels on their stream at that time. I believe that was, it could have been 16, 17, or 18. One of those years. I just can't remember what year it was. Now, prior to that, um, of course, I continued on with the Coliseum after that. Met Edward and the rest of the pretty much the most of the Black Manosphere gang. I was on Bernard Riley a few times. I was on. I used to watch O'Shea Sunday Rumble, and a few other little programs and what have you. But prior to that, I mean, I pretty much been here since the beginning. Back in from, let's say, 2007 to 2000, let's say 2012 or 2013, I had a men's uh like relationship self-improvement blog called Brotherhood of the Game. Um, and I started that in high school with a brother from UK. And with that, we actually interviewed a lot of the guys that kind of were like pre-manosphere, that were in the Black male self-improvement and the Black relationship space, such as Tariq Nasheed,
Mm-hmm.
Alan Roger Curry, several pimps that had, relationship books on like relationship and game. And I interviewed a lot of those brothers back when I was in high school. And so that was starting from like when YouTube first came on the scene. Not only did I have that blog, but I had a chance to, interview a lot of those brothers and actually see a lot of the earlier content creators that people don't know about. A lot of people don't realize, we always talk about the gender wars that popped off, 2007 to like 2010ish.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of brothers are on their third, fourth channels. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't realize it was a concerted effort for disgruntled Black women to systematically have like groups on Facebook and all these different apps where it'd be like 1,000 plus of them, and they would target different channels. Like, okay, everybody, we're gonna all
Wow.
report the channel all at once. So you have people that would probably be over 1 million right now if they wouldn't been on it
Oh,
on their
oh, oh
fourth
yeah.
channel.
Oh yeah, you are absolutely right, and honestly, that probably will be its own video because that needs to be said, and it's not just us. Even with the pro Black channels, kind of caught it for different reasons. But Professor Black Truth is like on his second channel. Tareen like third actually. Tareen Rain is on his like second channel. Your World is on his second channel. It's people that just said F it.
Bro,
SWP
it's
kind of.
people that a lot of people don't even know about. Like one of my mentors, in Tyreek, I mean, not Tyreek. BGS knows him because he's from the LA area as well, or the California area. I think he's originally from Compton or something like that. But one of my mentors is a guy around close to BGS's age, named Tahuti Maatra. He's a millionaire off of like herbs and stuff like that, right? He his first herbal business that made over 1 million in revenue. He advertised on the Steve Harvey show a lot. Then he started a new business because he got into a dispute with his partner at the time. And so this dude had a YouTube page that was big and got shut down. And he just said, once it got shut down, he was like, hell with it. I'm just not gonna do YouTube anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because he was in the health space, but he started talking about relationship and keeping it real about black women as well, and they started getting pissed off. You know what I'm saying? See, when you kissing it behind, it's one thing, but when you start keeping it real, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah,
So,
the closest thing you would get to any kind of real stuff of any real red pill, the closest thing you would consider red pill would be pimp commentary. This is why when people look at Jesse, he say, "Well, you interviewing pimps? Pimps are bad," because pimps were not considered sex traffickers back then. They call them sex traffickers now because that's a buzzword. But pimps are not trafficking women across. Black men are not doing that. If anything, they're localized. So this BS about sex trafficking, black men don't have the logistical. Number one, it's not that we can't create it, but they know that would be targeted by us. So dudes are not creating. You are not low key when you are moving women like that. That is not a low key thing. So I don't, from a legal stance, so I don't know why people act like. So when you hear a pimp and you think in sex trafficking, I mean trafficking. Trafficking is usually implied as to across state lines. And this is not me defending pimps, but my point is the red pill, the closest thing to red pill you would get would be that. This is why people like Sinful P, even though they don't necessarily go in on black women, they more talk on female nature. And by the way, this is where a lot of your Tariq gang comes from. Like anything that's semblance of red pill, anything that sounds kind of like that, that's why that would be framed more in pimp information. But this is also how black men would interface with it and accept it.
I mean, if you think about it, like all of the whole like relationship space, in terms of game and all of these different terms, even the terms we use, all of this stuff comes from Black American pimp culture, and this stuff goes back, to the 50s and 60s, all the way to like the 1920s. You know what I'm saying? So that's really the origin of a lot of this stuff, man, from the slang to the the thoughts on psychology of women, how to deal with women,
white boys
all
copied
that
it, by
stuff.
the way. And white boys,
yeah.
So
They
even with
stole all
Alan
that.
Wright, yeah. And so and the reason, and people be saying, and you can tell they copied it because because basically white boys basically operate on the "do you know who my dad is" game. I'm loaded game. They operate on the "I'm white" and then plus this. They don't know how to operate where whiteness is not. The white ice is colder is not in effect. They just don't. And so the reality, and this is why the dating market, like from 2000, you could argue from 1999 to 2006 was like that kind of golden era dating where it was on reality TV, the mystery, all that stuff. That stuff was copied from Tariq and all them other. And
I think they had a show called Keys to the VIP.
Yep.
Where the dudes used to compete on who could, like get numbers and get chicks back to the crib and stuff like that.
And the problem is white boys are very formulaic because they don't have. It's kind of like when we talk about us with jazz, they try to hate on jazz music, but white people that really, and this is where I gotta give Destiny credit. Like Destiny really tore down a white dude that was saying, he was like, wow, like this is not what you want, because apparently Destiny has like a degree in music, so he actually knows, but he was really giving black people their flowers on music, but he was saying jazz is not jazz. There is a structure to jazz. It's just jazz allows for the the improvisation. It allows for it, but it's not. It's just them just improving just to be improving. Because somebody was trying to make a conversation with jazz versus classical music. Which, by the way, if you look at people like Beethoven and stuff, some of these people got more melanin than white people are willing to admit. Some of these people,
Man,
but
don't even get me started on that
that's a
topic.
that's a
The whole
conversation they not.
freestyle thing versus
Yeah, that's a conversation they not ready for because they not
And
even
see,
ready. Hold on. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say because you was kind of digressing a little bit. I was saying,
No. I was saying that to say it's the similar thing with the game stuff because white people are so formulaic with the game that white women started to pattern recognize, and so these dudes are selling these people scripts, but these white people don't understand. You have to make that script so much your own that they don't know it's a script. They couldn't do that because they're operating on that. Do you know who my dad is thing? So this is why black men didn't have a problem versus they're trying to emulate what we do naturally, mainly because of the culture we come out of on top of, a more extended culture that we deal with, So go ahead. Yeah.
I just was going to say that all the white boys did was they took the concepts that we created and our culture and they just changed the names to a lot of it. That's all they did. They packed it up, put a little, they brought a little system to it. They kind of broke it down and made a system into it and sold it for money. That's all it comes down to.
And some of that stuff has value. Like I still have the book where it talks about like the magic bullet stuff. But the thing is, because some of that stuff has sales value too. Like some of that stuff is formed just like how there is a systematic process to sales. But if you know how to tell stories, you'll get a lot further than if you just know the process. And the thing is, they didn't have, because stories interface with people's emotions, and they didn't just have that. So what happens is the women started to pattern recognize it, but they burnt the market. This is why they didn't like Alan Roger Curry's Mode 1, or what the white boys would call direct dating, because Mode 1 is not easy to sell. Like direct dating is not easy to sell because it's high risk, high reward. And so people are not going to keep buying your products and services because they needed people. And so it disincentivizes them for people to actually have skills, because if people develop skills, now you're developing competitors. It's kind of like the real estate issue. Like if a real estate agent is a good agent, now he's a competition. But if he operates under you with a real estate license, you all could both benefit. It's kind of like that, but it exists. So long story short, a lot of those guys actually ended up converting more into red pill content in the early days because now they couldn't make money off of that. And so that's kind of the origins of how the white boys are built up. Then you got to add in the man's rights movement and all of that. And this is also a big reason why we had to create our own space, is because the white boys still had that sexual. Number one, a lot of them know they copied our stuff anyway. So they had this sexual competition with us. And so they keep on wanting to be, the problem is the blacks. The problem is these other groups. They can't let that go. So anyway, so AB, you want to get in? And then after AB, Great Dane, and then we'll move it around because I know Great Dane be waiting.
Yeah, congrats on 10K, man.
Yeah, no, much appreciated. And man, like I said, I probably share more other people's content, especially the people that need the promotion, than anybody else. So as I grow, I'm already gonna say, well, this person good for this or good for that. So,
yeah, I need to put out some more videos. Just got some new tools. Actually got a music generator, and with AI and stuff, man. And then I'm gonna make a video after I get off of here. Try to make a video after I get off of here. But black men are moving forward, and we don't need. I'm glad you said we don't. It's 2025. We can't preach from our knees anymore. We gotta stand up and get it moving.
Yeah, and ironically, those videos do better. Those videos do better than because everybody doesn't want to do the trending content, and I get that,
to a degree, I don't either, but
but the truth, you do got to do what you got to do. But the truth is, like the video you mentioned, does better for somebody, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just kind of
Right.
saying this to let people know I kind of know what I'm talking about. Like when I look at like AB will talk about trending stuff if it matches what you want to talk about, like the political stuff and stuff like that. But a lot of the stuff I see you do on YouTube, and see you willing to put your face on YouTube, like not put your face on the YouTube, but like with the reaction on TikTok. That stuff, like that video I did with the white woman speaking first, and that video did a lot of subscribers. So the white woman speaking, and then I talked, and that was a video that played. Not Jesse, Mr. Z played that video because I don't care about showing my stuff. You know, people, I'm the, people, yeah, man, you pocket watch other people. I mean, well, I'm not pocket watching other people. I'm analyzing. That's what you do. What is this? Let me take these filters off.
Well, yeah, I just want to say congrats, bro. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate for all the work you've done.
No, absolutely, man. I trust me. I am very humbled. I'm trying to.
And for me, I believe I came across you through the brothers that I first came across. You know what I mean? Along with Black Ram, Solo TV, and O'Shea.
Yeah, shout out to Black Ram as well, because Black Ram don't get enough credit as well. Black Ram was like one of the original Itmores. I also was in the Itmore crew. Itmore stands for Introspective Black Men in Reform. BGS didn't start it, but he's probably the biggest Itmore creator. I forget the dude that started, and I'm sorry, but people he could get mad. I don't care. And me, Black Ram was I didn't start it, but I was a part of it. Black Ram was in Itmore. So basically, BGS and Black Ram have that connection for that reason. And Black Ram has his own audience, as well as BGS. And BGS has been shadow banned. BGS definitely be the two people who've been screwed over by YouTube the most that you know of are two people. I would say BGS and and the number one is LAR Movement. I would say Roger's been kind of messed with too, because Roger has lost channels. But LAR has 6,000 channels. And like with LAR, it used to be
shout out to LAR and Roger.
Yeah, LAR used to be it was two guys that were kind of like the same. They weren't the same, but they were kind of two peas of a pod. Is LAR and JR Wisdom. JR left, and then JR came back and did reaction stuff, and now he's at like 80 or 100,000 now. But LAR we got LAR trying to make another channel. Like he's gonna have his old one, but LAR is like 6,000 videos, man, and those videos are fire. But what I wanted to show you all is this the video with the this is the video where it's the white chick talking. So if I play this, let me see. Because they limited it.
We're moving on. Snow bunnies are gonna clean you right out.
See.
But like,
and then I say all that to say this. That video garnered me like 12 subscribers and 400 and something views. And that's not technically a short because it's over 3 minutes. It's 30 something seconds cents because of they limited it. So I'll still put out a video. So that's like a video kind of close to what you would do when you do those TikToks. You be showing your face of this is this, and then you could do like a commentary after that. And then the algorithm will look at the original video, like the white chick talking, and be like, and share it based on that. And then they're obviously getting your commentary. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of close to what you already kind of like to do, whether it's political and stuff like that. And I'm sharing that because if y'all tell me what y'all want to do, I'll definitely try to mirror it. I'm not like charging people for none of this, but I'm saying if y'all reach out to me, tell me what y'all want to do. I actually may give y'all a form to fill out so I can, that way I can give you better information if y'all are looking to start a YouTube channel. AB know what he's doing, but I'm just saying with that. So I can marry what you already know you kind of like to do with what I've seen works. Because as I get this information, I don't got a problem letting y'all know what I see works. Because for me, when I was doing that trending stuff, that video outperformed the trending stuff. So the trending stuff takes more work for me to put together because I'm trying to, you get it, the edits, the pictures versus that. I get to take yeah, go ahead.
If you need to make a thumbnail, I would recommend Canva.
Yeah, there's no better. Yeah, there's no better thing than Canva.
Yeah. Now, me personally, I'm at the point now. I write programs to write my thumbnails, but I also got a full design suite to write my thumbnails, but that might be too advanced for some people. If you're not into graphic design, I highly recommend Canva.
Yeah,
They
Canva.
got
PicMonkey's good, but Canva is what I use.
Canva will give you all kinds of templates and stuff to make your thumbnails, and they should usually go ahead.
Go ahead. So Edward, so basically, so you're saying Canva is what you use when it comes to the AI all work you do?
No. That's called Leonardo AI. Now,
Because I thought you meant as in a sense, Canva had like some AI tools and.
Oh yeah, Canva actually bought Leonardo AI. Canva has its own AI tools though. Outside
Oh,
of
they bought
AI,
Leonardo, really?
Yep, they bought Leonardo. Now Leonardo is
Okay.
still their own thing, but Canva, they're going to integrate Canva that into Canva's processing power into that. So I'll share a video of somebody covering that, of a channel that I watch when it comes to AI stuff. That's really, really good. It's called Metrics Mill, and he covered that. But yeah, they bought that. And so Canva is getting serious about the AI game, but Canva has tools outside of that. But we're not talking about Canva's AI side. We're just talking about Tim stuff. I'll do a video going over that. I just want to.
I say that to say because dude, I really want to do what the hell you've been doing, man. Because that shit's some awesome work right there.
I also recommend OBS without question. OBS Studio.
Yeah, I actually need to jump more into OBS, and a lot of your other streamers use streamers use OBS as well. That's their main thing. They actually don't use Stream. Some of them use StreamYard, but most of them don't.
I use both. You
can set OBS. I use OBS for my music stuff. When I do music streams, I do OBS.
Yeah, so some of y'all maybe give me. I don't know everything, so some of y'all maybe give me tips.
I
on
use
OBS.
both. You can set OBS as your camera, so your OBS screen will be your camera. That's how I'll be doing the graphics and stuff.
So that's like a whole nother thing I need to do. Probably a channel with that or a playlist with that. But the reason why I got excited not about the white woman video is not even necessarily to tell you. I know that's kind of not that video, but that's in the style that you do stuff where play the video and then talk. But also, again, the trending videos work, but that video garners more videos. So the thing is, if you take a video that you like and then you talk on the back of it, because I used to be scared that like, okay, if the algorithm is not gonna share this because it's my commentary on the back end of it. But now I see that's not the case. So when you look at, there's certain channels, I don't want to make this about a tutorial about that, but when you look at certain channels like Average Man Unplugged, if y'all know who he is, Charles in Charge is another one. These are more red pill reactionary channels, and they kind of stick to black/modern, but really black. Darius MGTOW sticks more towards white, and then he'll go into black. But he's more in the white manosphere in that way. Versus Jada Black is more trending videos. So I would actually tell somebody, especially if you want to make stuff similar to this space, to do more of the reaction stuff, and then it's a matter of sourcing, knowing how to source where the women saying crazy stuff comes from, and that's actually probably easier to do because if that woman talking, that was like 60 seconds, I actually sped that up, like 1.2, 1.3. So that's why I wanted to really say that, because I assume that's generating more video views in my trending videos. And that's not the first time that's happened. So that's more in line with what I want to talk about anyway, which means because I can talk about that stuff more off the cuff. But versus with the trending videos, yeah, I know a lot about these things, but some of the times I want to give y'all information about these people and not just say, okay, this happened, because I want context is important. Why should you care about this video? And that takes a little bit more research for me to do. So that's why I kind of wanted to put that out there, because we assume that the trending stuff is going to do better, but it doesn't. Also, my Edward Andersonism videos are doing better than the trending videos as well, which kudos to you all, because that's more in line with the content y'all want. So it's not always you got to go trending, fluff, sugary, and all of that in order to so you don't have to. So anyway.
But I wanted to
let AB go, then Great Dane. I got you. Yeah, let AB finish.
Just to give you an example, this is my OBS screen, and you can switch screens. Like, see, here's my camera, and you can switch screens. I got another screen. And you
Yeah,
can
So
set
that's
up
all. So that's
a
all. What it's called is just OBS.
yeah, I got OBS
oh,
downloaded, but if you're
OBS Open Broadcast System, I believe is the name of it. It's
yeah,
an
OBS has been around like before Stream. Like really, OBS is where everybody would have had to go to if StreamYard didn't come through when
yes.
Google Hangout got rid of. So a lot of it, OBS is not technical,
So
but
that's the
OBS
best
is more technical
alternative.
than streaming. Yeah, if you're not trying to pay, then yeah, it's OBS. Yeah, if you with StreamYard, you're gonna have to do now. OBS is obviously not doing panels, so that's where
Right.
But if you're doing like so yeah, that's what most everybody else uses. So yeah, I got to get more deeper into OBS. That's actually one of my things. But yeah, I didn't want to make this like a tutorial channel. I'm just letting y'all know the information is there. Just because we don't deploy the information on our channels, as far as like use it, don't mean we don't know it, and don't mean we don't do it in other things. Shout out to
Right.
Jesse. Jesse was just on here. And yeah, so go ahead, Great Dane.
Yeah, just two quick things. First thing is, of course, congratulations on 10K, man. Definitely a milestone, especially because I've been following you since you were at like 2000, I think, 1600
Dang,
to
you've been
2000.
following that long? Yeah, I would. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Well, here's what happened. Remember, I found out about you through Glendon Cameron. So I used to follow Glendon, like really roughly like 2017, like 2018 is when I really started listening to Glendon. And then you were a mod on one of his channels. I remember Disruptive Mail. You were up there for a while.
Yeah.
And so Glendon used to shout you out. And so I would check out your stuff from time to time. And that's how I found out about, the whole that was during the time you were going through those reacting to like stuff that Taz and then would say, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I had a stint where I lost a lot of like subscribers wanted and this is not even against them, where they wanted the channel to evolve past where it was, and I kind of got complacent with the type of videos I was doing. Like I wasn't titling stuff, I was just putting it out there. It was a vlog. I wouldn't even do an EP 1 or 2, and then I lost a good like some of my day ones because of that. And then some people ended up kind of sprinkling back in, and that's not anything on them. I mean, that's what happens.
Right.
But yeah, because they really got tired of that back and forth stuff.
No, I got your channel link.
Hold on, let Great Dane finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So that stuff, and then I was kind of in and out because you guys were talking about, because I was listening to Glendon and ARC, because I found out about all these guys through Glendon. Even BGS I found out about through Glendon, because he would occasionally shout y'all out. And so then I started listening to ARC, and then I started having these ARC used to shout you out. He used to go back and forth with BGS about the Black Pill and all this kind of other stuff in the Obsidian sagas. But anyway, yeah, a lot of the stuff you're talking about as far as the gynocracy and the issues between black men and black women, at first I wasn't really receptive to it, because I mean, I didn't have any in my mind. I'm like, well, I don't have any issues getting the type of chicks I want to get. So what's the problem? So I took the mindset of, oh, these niggas just mad because they can't get chicks.
Of course they did.
Right.
Even though, and I do got to say this, even though the original arguments of like the black man sphere was child support, which can't happen if you can't get chicks. That was Angry Man's problem. And so that's but see, we got away from that, because the thing is, I don't have kids, so that's not it's not my point of expertise. So when people are talking about the black dads and all of that, Angry Man put that on his back. But I don't have kids, so I'm like, how am I speaking on that when that's not my problem? But that's probably one of the things I regret. I don't regret, but we should have promoted that a lot more than what we did. But go ahead.
Eventually
you're going after Great Dane.
Yeah, eventually I did catch on to the message. It took a little while, but because even a lot of the stuff that you guys talk about, those are things I talk about now on my channel, and kind of understanding the dynamics on that. So, but I definitely want to say your channel is a godsend, man. I mean, you're doing good work out here. That's the first thing. The second thing, just real briefly, when you were talking about the music, so I'm a musician, right? Been playing music all my life. I play several instruments. Grew up playing in church. I play played for bands, all this kind of stuff. And one of the funniest things to me when it came to the white kids, and especially in band class, is they would have this thing of they called it freestyling, and they would say, oh yeah, the black kids, they're really good at freestyling, but they don't know how to read music, or they don't
I
understand
do.
the finer points of composition. And I had one chick when the movie Drumline came out. I had one girl, she was like furious because there's a difference between how the HBCUs do what they do with the drum line and the drum corps. Drum corps is like, you can think of it like think of it almost like a military style of playing the drums. They're very, very structured. They have a very, precise way of doing things. It's like, a
Core
competitive
style.
sport. Yeah. And so she was like, well, no, because drumline, all these black kids come into band, they want to play like drumline, and we don't do that kind of stuff. Like, they were mad. And so what I've seen, I have, because when you were talking about that, I'm like, yo, that's the whole entire conversation topic. Because if you look at any stage, and I'm talking about from Adele to Taylor Swift to Beyonce to Kendrick Lamar to the Isley Brothers, the cats who are playing on that stage, most likely 9 times out of 10, are church cats, black musicians who come out the church. Because a lot of us, we learn in the church. We don't have the structure. We don't always have the best budgets. We don't always have the best gear. But what we do have is raw talent and time. And so I remember even when I was coming up, being at the church for hours, just practicing playing drums and keys or whatever. And so we come out, and now you got these kids nowadays, they have to go to college to be able to do the stuff we can do sonically just from our gift. And so there is kind of a stigma behind this, not being able to read music or not understanding, music theory. Oh, well, can
Hello.
you tell? Huh?
No, well, one thing
Oh,
too, yeah, my bad. It was I clicked the video by accident, but one thing too
oh
is
yeah.
it's the same
I was going to
conversation.
say,
Just to
man, was
take it,
short.
yeah, just to it's the same conversation with the quarterback conversation. They're always doing that. They're always trying to shut down what we some of the stuff we can do. Oh, they can't throw in the pocket, they can't do this, they can't do that. It's you can look up a whole list of conversations. That's the first thing. Second thing I'm gonna say is there is a room for somebody to do the why you need to talk about the gynocracy, but I'm a select man, because there's things that select dudes need to
Hmm.
worry about with the gynocracy. For instance, semen extraction. You getting caught up over the child support, because I mean, you go into the rabbit hole of people on Facebook groups exchanging sperm for sex, or because you dealing with dykes that want a baby, or you dealing with women that they just want a baby, like Ebony K. Williams situation, but they don't want to go through Ebony K. Williams, paying 42,000. Like there's actually apps for that. There's Facebook groups for that in local cities, and so not to mention if a chick just finesses a kid out of you, and then now you got to pay child support, or you're tied to that chick, and you got to deal with problems. So
Hmm.
even there, so the guy, and how the guy at work, how you get passed around. I've seen this, how you get passed around by multiple women, and then all of a sudden now they're making it like you're preying on the women, when the reality is you are being passed around. Now, obviously it's easy coochie, and if you're attracted to the chick, you like, hey, why not? But it's a lot of black men to get Ime Adoka. It's a
That
perfect
sounds
example
like
of that.
another thing of where they're trying to exempt them from any kind of accountability, whatever, and just looking at it
Yeah,
all upon the
yeah.
man, that it's all the man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
my point is,
it's all the
even
man's
though that's
fault.
not something I would prefer to speak on, because somebody like that is gonna have to show their face and stuff like that. But there's a pathway for someone to talk about that. I would probably say, if you want to do it and not show your face, you absolutely can. If you do, you got channels like Anthony Spade. Maybe
Hmm.
Book of Alpharonomy would be a good example of what to look. I wouldn't say exactly like, I'd say more like Spade does and Alpharonomy, but there is a like kind of like Coach Greg Adams too. People think, well, you can't get. I'm not saying I get it, but people, it's like even if you get like even if you get women, there are problems because they are trying to get something out of you. They are not just compliant. I'm not saying they're not, but they're not compliant just because they once they get what they want, they start acting up. They start having a kid, they start acting up. I mean, look at what's going on with Cam Newton. Cam Newton is a select dude, but Cam Newton is running out of money or ran out of money. Why? Because he got two adopted kids. Now you compare that to somebody like Luol Deng. Luol Deng, when them Africans be getting money, it's understood you are gonna submit to that throne or you ain't getting nothing. And you there is no, well, you just give me this, give me that, give me this. You're gonna let us know what you want, why, what are you gonna do to add into the pot, whether it's money or
Damn
something
right.
else. So
But
anyway,
that's the problem with the Cam Newton situation. If you're going to do that, do it with non-Western women. If you're going to do it, that whole multiple chick thing,
yeah.
because that's not the play. Or just if you're going to do a Western woman, get married to her. If you're not, then I mean, that's something else.
Now keep in mind that's Great Dane. That's something that there's certain conversations that do. I'm not saying I'm not trying to say I'm not select or nothing like that, but I don't adhere to that. And I say earlier in the video why I can't think in that way. But for people, most black men think that way. So when you look at take somebody like Fugazi, at the end of the day, Fugazi, outside of the white woman thing, Fugazi looks like a dude that gets chicks. So nobody's gonna say, "Oh, I question whether he can get chicks." Nobody's gonna do that. They're gonna unless he say something crazy, they're gonna look at that and they see that and they'll make an assumption based on what they see or an impression. And then it's when he say something or he start doing red pill, they start trying to challenge that. My point is there's certain things that dudes like him can say because they show themselves and stuff like that, and it will be accepted. So what you said about getting a chick overseas, if you're gonna get multiple women, if you're not established as a select guy by the viewer, they're gonna listen to that differently than if they do establish you as a select guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because I mean, I guess I would consider myself select based on my track record. So
that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm. Yeah.
So but that's the kind of stuff I do talk about. I mean, my thing is, I think especially if you're a man with money, it doesn't make sense for you to only have one. I don't have money and I have more than one chick.
Well, even you don't have to show your face. Like certain dudes can kind of detect that just based on if they hear you over time what you're saying, and you know that. So that's not necessary to show your face. But my point is, I'm just saying that because if any of y'all that y'all know what y'all experience level is, y'all know if y'all getting high quality women, y'all can speak on that. There's room for that. Now I'm not saying you got to pound the gynocracy like I do. It can be this kind of thing in the background, and you don't even necessarily have to call it that. I would just say modern women because they all operate like that. It may not be as bad, but white women even act like that. White women, if they can get away with it, it's just much harder for them to get away with it.
They're all under the same umbrella. They just have they different, styles with it. The different functions.
Yeah. So
they all worship Michelle Obama. They all worship Michelle Obama. That's the problem.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
They either are doing it or they want to be in position where they can do it more. Because understand, a white boy would consider a white woman dealing with a black man as is basically gynocentric behavior. Because a lot of these chicks look at dealing with black men, especially in college, as a ritual. That's them saying F you to the patriarchy and encoding that. So even Glendon talked about that. Glendon talked about how, when he had that thing when he got in trouble, that second story of what that white mother was doing with her daughters. Literally, you're imprinting your daughters with using the trust of a mom. That's crazy when you really think about it. And people could say, well, Glendon, if it wouldn't have been him, they were in Georgia. They would have found somebody. Fantastic is 6. I've been told Fantastic is huge. Fantastic is 6'6", 6'7". They would have. There's brothers down there, especially playing college or used to play college. She would have found somebody because that's what she was on. But go ahead, Ray.
But then again though, man, my dig this though. Even though a cat may be tall as hell and shit, what kills me is that I'm like, bitches, y'all acting like these tall motherfuckers as y'all acting like, okay, when y'all say, on these panels and on these damn Pop the Balloon shows, they are the top tier of man, they're in God tier. You know what I mean? No, bitch. No, you forget that great man, bitch. All your heroes and unsung heroes, bitch, are not fucking 6 feet fucking tall. And plus, you forget brothers like Mighty Mouse. Shout out to him. Damn it, 15-time champion.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that is, see, I don't. If you notice, when I speak on that, I'm not arguing that that's what they're picking on. I'm just saying that's what it's like a product. I'm not commenting on the why behind it, because the why behind it doesn't change the fact that's what they're picking on. And height is a genetic marker. Height is a So there's like, evolutionary reasons for that. So that's
like I'll say, if you put Cam and Mighty Mouse in the room, right, and you got chicks in there, I guarantee you they'll gravitate towards Mighty Mouse.
Well, I mean, yeah, but on paper, I get what you're saying, and I'm not here to even debate that. But on paper, that's not really the point. The point is, because the point is not to change why they're doing what they're doing. The point is, how do you take that information and how do you make that work for you, even if you're dealing from a perspective of qualification. So where people kind of fall into the trap is they start trying to critique women on that. I critique women on their results. So at the end of the day, if you're picking an 80% of the pie chart that you're picking from, because keep in mind, we're not here because this space does not primarily exist because men are not getting women. This space primarily exists because women are throwing all men under the bus because they're not getting the results that they want. So even if they get the men that they want, they can't control those men. Great Dane just said he has more than one woman, and he don't even got bread like what you would assume he has in comparison to the amount of women the roster he deals with, right? Or the quality thereof. So the point is, what that indicates is these women cannot control it because he can weigh the market against what he can do, and they have a problem with that. So what they will do is they will throw all men under the bus when they're really talking about the dudes that they can't control. And this is why I have a problem with Cheyenne Bryant. Because that's really what it comes down to. If y'all can get the dude y'all want, y'all can't control. So this is where the cheating comes in. The men are arrogant. The men are controlling, because controlling is what they can leverage. So let's take Great Dane, for example, again, with the situation he said. If a chick and I'm mentioning, Grinch has talked about this. When a chick if you got a roster, when a chick acts out of pocket, what did I say on my other stream? You put them on the bench.
Pretty much.
You put them in timeout, and they don't get to dictate when.
Damn right.
But here's the thing: we can say that.
To your point,
point,
Ed, even because I'm married now. My wife and I, we had a situation last year. Well, no, year before last, where we had a little situation. She said some things, and so I had to show her. And so basically, we were getting ready to move to a new spot. So I went ahead and moved to the spot by myself, and I had her staying somewhere else because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna show you what I really do. And so she had what we call a wilderness experience, like from the Bible, when the children of Israel were wandering around the wilderness for 40 years.
Great Day.
Hold on, let him cook. Don't interfere. Let him cook.
But yeah,
Ray, you messing up the clip.
But yeah, she had a wilderness experience, and so she had to see what it was like, because I do a lot, and so and she's not a bad woman, but I just had to let her know, hey, this is not what you think, because I told her from the beginning, I said, this is my show, this is my world, you are just a part of my world, and I said, if you can take this ride with me, I will reward you greatly for that, but you got to do what I tell you to do. And so, and I'm not rich, I make about roughly like 60 grand a year, roughly. You know what I mean? So I'm not rich. I'm not balling out of control. I make pretty, decent income for where I live. But at this time, I was taking care of. I took care of everything by myself. I had other chicks. I have a rotation. I have chicks in my roster, and eventually she kind of came around and she realized what time it was. And so we're back together now. We've been going strong ever since. But she knows. I've told her. I said, you can be replaced. I said, I love you dearly, but you can be replaced. And at this time, she had our child, because we have a daughter. And so she had our daughter, and she was lugging her around. So I let her feel that fire for a second, and she got herself together. But to your point, you have to do that, and I live by that, 100%. And even though my family didn't agree with that, my mom was talking mad shit. One of her siblings was upset about it. My dad was like,
they upset about your situation, but go ahead.
Exactly. Even my dad was like, come on, son, you got to do the right thing. I said, nah. I said, she's got to learn who I am. You know what I mean? She has to respect what
Is she black? Is she black?
Yeah, she's black.
Okay, no, that makes it. No, I asked that because that's you know what I was gonna ask, but to be honest with you, once you said that, I said she's got to be black. If they're ragging on you like that, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. I caught I caught a lot of heat from my family about that, but I don't care. They don't pay. I don't care. They don't pay my bills, and it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, And this is what was crazy. I was the place that we got together. I was living there by myself, paying for everything on my own, and it was no issue. I had chicks coming through the spot like it was nothing. You know what I mean? And she was kind of jealous because she was struggling. Because I was doing the bare minimum, of course, for my daughter and whatnot. But I told her, I said, nah, I said you shouldn't. And it was something simple that she said. What happened was, I work a lot, so I work, typically 10 to 12 hour days, depending on what I'm doing. And at this time, our daughter was still like, a baby. I'm helping her with stuff. She's not really working like that. I'm doing all the work, coming home, making sure she's good because I know, she's got to get through it. And I'm on the road, and she made a statement about telling my son, well, I guess I made it too easy for you. And I was like, made it too easy for me. I was like, okay, I'll show you. I'll show you what's easy. And that's basically what started that because my thing is how I'm out here busting my ass so we can have something, and you gonna say some disrespectful shit like that to me, so I had to show her, and she got the message. We haven't had that problem since.
He initiated the Just Date Out protocol. Oh, trust and believe what you just said is going to be a clip, and there's going to be some AI included to it. Because I'm sure the dudes are really, yeah, those y'all really demonstrating y'all like those videos, and that's good. That's good. PK would say, well, you put her on an air mattress. But yeah, man, nah, I mean for real. So I mean, and again, because the way dudes be like, oh, I don't have problems with women. I mean, there's degrees to problems, and there's things that there's like, understand. There's only so people be like, oh, look, if you can't get women, then women can't really harm you like that. So the problems don't really open up until you really dealing with them, like for real. So when people be talking about, oh, y'all complaining, y'all doing, it's like, yo, again, the exposure is predicated on how much you're actually dealing with and how many you dealing with. Like, so when you looking at guys like a Paul George or a Drake who got kids with porn stars or strippers, both non-black women, by the way, it's, or look at what Jeezy was dealing with Jenny Mai. Shout out to us, Jada Black with that video. What trying to move her mom in. Talk about that's my Asian culture. I mean, your mom don't live with you now, and I'm like, you mean to tell me she can't have her own house? And
Yeah.
it's like, and here's the thing: if you want to do all that, that's fine, but black men ain't going for that. Like,
The,
not unless it's they mom, but black men ain't going with that because now it's like they can't even be intimate with you like that because she's there. Like, and even with black men, if you got money, mom gonna be like, look, I want my own thing. If you want to do all that.
the
But
thing,
Or
uh,
put her up in a house or something.
well,
that's what you're supposed to have guest houses for when you got paper like that. But I don't think that's what she wanted. She wanted her in the house like that. Anyway, go ahead, Nate, and
the
then
thing,
Ray.
the thing is about the selecting. I don't really like the word select because to me, when I hear select, it means just this guarantee. I like how you say it with currencies because I'm 6'2", and I've been told by women I have an attractive face, but when I was in college, let's just say like I went to like a house party, yeah, there'd be times where I may be the tallest in the room or the most attractive in the room, but let's just say like a dude came in here and he had on Greek letters, or he had just was a captain of the football team. 9 times out of 10, the football teams and the Greek letters, they the ones getting the girls, unless they not in. But so it's like I think she'd be more on currencies. And the thing is like sometimes a lot of black men it's hard for them to tell what the problem is, because a lot of these chicks, they out here, they messing with everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, it's just, you can be a 10 out of 10 with your looks and your height, but if you don't, sometimes the social currency, it just,
It
it might not add up, and it's like you have to like know what you qualify for. So it's like you may have a 10 of looks, 10, and no, let's say a 6 in looks, or a 10 in height, or a D, or a 4 in social, or a 4 in emotional. You might qualify for like a 6 or a 7, but not like the 8, 9s, and 10s.
Yeah, and none of this stuff is like a one size fits all thing. Some of these things overlap. Like, I always defend, because look, man, shout out to Obsidian, but Obsidian really messed up what select or non-select was, because he wanted to do his political campaign
How is that?
representing. So nobody really understands. This is one reason these people shout me out, by the way. Nobody really understands what Ron Wills was talking about with select to non-select. Like, for that, what people I'm not saying you, but like what happened was Obsidian went on like a campaign against select, because he wanted to use that as like a catch-all term to say, to represent the non-select people in an attempt to grow his channel. There's certain things I'm just not willing to do to grow my channel, and I'm not willing to take somebody else's term and basically bastardize it like that. And he really did a lot
I
of
got
damage
you. I understand you.
and this is not saying nothing about anything y'all are saying, but I'm just saying this. There's a reason BGS calls Ron Williams a field master, and even though I don't really comment, Ron Wills is a perfect example of a guy that kind of is in that. I would probably consider him more, because he has a term called Mr. Goodbar, where it's like
Yeah.
these dudes that they it's like, I'm not saying Rom is not select, but Rom has more of that, you know. That's not, because people can say pretty boys are like select too, but that doesn't always add what masculinity really is. And there's a kind of masculine charismatic thing that women are attracted. When they say BD energy and that BS, that's not necessarily that is select to them, but how women perceive and how we perceive it is a little bit different. So there's different ways you can kind of occupy that. And so going back to my point is, this is what select and non-select is. I'm gonna say it here. I need to do a whole video on that, even though this is Rom saying, but this is what it is. You have to look at it this way. Y'all don't know what Xanatos Clutch looks like. So let's take a light skin. Let's take a dude like One Master Teacher.
I know what clutch looks like though.
Well,
So yeah.
everybody doesn't though. Let's take a dude like One Master Teacher. Y'all can
You can use me as an example. I'm like,
okay. Well, people know what One Master Teacher looks like. So take One Master Teacher for example. He's, I believe, 6 foot, like 5'10", 6'2", I think. Here's the thing. Depending on who he's dealing with, if he's in the black community, he may not be at the top of the food. He's not going to be at the, he won't be at the top of the food chain just off his looks, because the light skin era is not the era like it was in the 80s. Now, contrary to probably believe, light skinned dudes are cleaning up. Y'all act like they not. We don't care because we're not. Y'all can believe that. But these women are choosing. Y'all can believe that. So there's nothing to gain in people pushing for attention, because we don't really need it. But that's a whole nother story. But it's not the 80s. I'll say that. So if you're depending on the type of chick he's dealing with, in America, like black chick mainly, he may be select, he may be non-select, because certain chicks don't be really necessarily sweating light-skinned dudes depending. Now, if he's in South America, because South America is on that kind of La Raza thing, and they're on that improve the race thing, white may be at the top, but if they're looking at he's American, he's American, especially if he speaks Spanish, which he doesn't, but he's American and he's light-skinned, they see that as like, okay, that's gonna be what I can get now, and he's American. So they like, or you got that Dominican look, like for instance, a Maryland Negra. Especially, this is why you see a lot of light skinned dudes. They don't necessarily gravitate towards dark skinned dudes dark skinned chicks for this reason. It's just they like how certain chicks look at dark skin, and this is in a clockwork a little bit in some dark skinned chick mind, so it works. So my point is, select is not this be all. There is no you are select for everybody. Like an Indian woman might consider select something different, or a Muslim woman might consider something different than like a hood chick would consider select. This y'all mentioned the Greek letters. The chicks that would consider dudes with Greek letters more select are generally going to be college educated suburban type chicks if they deal with black men, because they connect those Greek letters to, okay, he like Alan Roger Curry had Greek letters. When you look at Kevin had Greek letters, and you saw how women acted towards Kevin, even at his age. But every chick, that's Kevin, is not every chick's cup of tea. They may want to do more like Rom, this quote unquote a Mr. Goodbar, more visceral BDE masculine type of black man. This is where
A ghost looking motherfucker.
This is where the hood stuff comes from, or I want a soldier. Kevin is not a soldier. That's not who Kevin is. Kevin's more of a Greek letter thing. So if you look at this stuff, when you I hate to bring Star Wars into it, but if you look at it like with Star Wars, you had a Yoda who was a Jedi counselor. You had Mace Windu who was a Jedi sentinel. Counselors use more force power. Sentinels are more, not sentinels. What's you know what I'm talking about. They're the ones that fight with the lightsaber more. Even that doesn't mean they don't have the power to because what you call it, Mace Windu could definitely use the force. But you get what I'm saying. They gravitate. Vanguard. Y'all can put it in the chat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. My point is that what Obsidian did was he turned it into an alpha beta thing, meaning you're either alpha or you're not. And he used that to try to grow his channel. Just like how we understand that a dude that's a pretty boy is not necessarily the same kind of dude as a dude that may play sports. He's a football player or something like that. They're drawn from different versions of masculinity that can be both effective. Jedi Guardians. Yeah, you're right. So, but dudes have this thing, and this is where our culture starts to get real tunnel visioned. And so, and by the way, there's overlap with certain people as well, because you can be a pretty boy, but you still play sports, or you could be a dude that you're more entrepreneurial minded. So you more of the baller kind of, you get what I'm saying. And that conversation is not had enough. It's too much alpha, beta, catch all, be all.
That's reality. That's the reality of it. There's different forms of masculinity, but they only want to see one form.
Yeah, and that's what's promoted on YouTube, and that, yeah.
The thing that because I mean that to me was always pretty self-explanatory, at least in my understanding of when Ron was talking about select, it's relative, you know what I mean? But my thing is, because when Obsidian was doing that, do you think that he was doing that to be obtuse, like to?
Yes, Obsidian knows what it means. Obsidian, like, so for example, like you got certain people that they don't want to admit it, but they may, and I don't really like chicks that they be just really on some light skin stuff, but there are chicks that they want light skinned dudes. I'll give you a perfect example just to go in the opposite. There's white chicks that'll say you're not black enough. I've been told that. Yep. Even if you're 6 foot, they want the fetish. Now they may not be straight up on some Ace of Spades stuff, but that feeds into the taboo. Some of you all know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, if they want a nigga, they want a nigga for real.
But then again, a light skinned dude is also more likely to be able to probably capture. Glendon talked about this. Capture a female that's not necessarily a white female that don't always date black men. So they see these, and yeah, some of this stuff is self-explanatory, but a lot of people don't know. Like we underestimate how much of the basics people really don't get, especially when it comes to younger people and then people being redirected. So the purpose of select and non-select, because I actually didn't even get into that, and this is the most important part, what I'm about to say now. It's kind of like, okay, if you look at, I don't know, anybody needs glasses, you get nearsighted or farsighted glasses, or let's say you get shades. Obviously, shades change your perspective. So imagine if you had shades, and shades help you see things you otherwise didn't see. Maybe certain stuff pop up that don't pop up before, because now you're seeing that, like, it's changing the prism by which you're able to see, right? Like, for instance, if you get, the way you all know you have cheap shades versus expensive shades, like actually shades you pay $100, $200, $300 for, you can look directly into the sun because it's more focused, so it changes it to, you can do that. Cheap shades, you can't really do that without messing your eyes up. That's how you know if you got expensive ones or not expensive ones. So that's my point of things you can do with the change of vision. My point is, what select and non-select, that principle allows you to do is it does a couple of things. First, it allows you to see which women gravitate. Where do you line up with certain women where you know that you will want? So are you in the select category in this this kind of group of women, this kind of women and how they're wired? So you could say like Glendon had this video called The Southern Belle, basically I'm gonna call it a Keisha, Valley Girl, the Valley Girl, the Southern Belle, the suburban chick.
Yeah,
Valley,
the different classifications.
Yeah, which I would pay him like a couple $100 for that video if I could find
that was he had one for,
I think I seen you. My bad, Great Dane.
No, you good. No, he had quite a few videos like that where he went through the different delineations. Because I mean, he's dated different ones, and I think from what
the Savage.
The Savage. That was
like
85s.
Yeah, the Savages are chicks that they literally tell you that's how they are, and if you deal with them, you knew. That's the Savage.
I got a video I can see right now of this chick that this basically related to this. What y'all talking about? A chick that basically shows a chart of different type of black women. I can get that right now. It's like a short little video.
Link it in the back chat. Email me that.
I want to see that.
Yeah, but my thing is,
I'm about to put it right here in the private chat.
And this is also where BGS's kind of octane thing kind of help, because if you just a hood chick, letters ain't necessarily gonna move. I'm not saying it doesn't have motion, but it doesn't have as much motion as black chicks that are more suburban. And then all of this comes down to raw, like how you line up with how you look. Like it's kind of like when they do these polls where they talk about, you know, would you vote for a Democrat or Republican? Then we say a Democratic man or a Republican woman. You know, then you add some people change their answer depending on.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Well, I was gonna say that's what game is supposed to help dudes identify. That's one of the points of game, is because even now that Roger Curry talked about that with Mode 1, he said Mode 1 was not designed for you to sleep with women. It was designed to help you identify.
But what's going on? You're right. But what's going on is these good people on YouTube, and most game dudes that are on YouTube but not on YouTube, they're not doing that. They're basically they're not giving those. They're basically not giving you the keys to actually how to really understand what this information is. What they're essentially doing is telling what Zero would say, nigga tales and game stories, and then they're merging and they're molding that into this never-ending thing. So you just hear them telling stories about exploits that they may or may not have had, because their results don't necessarily speak to that. Because if you're dealing with older white women, if you got game, you could do better. But my main point is with the select and non-select, it's a key. So it's say, okay, I'm select towards these kind of women. Like, so if you say, okay, I'm select towards, let's say, dark-skinned women their height is not like a deal breaker. Then you start to learn which women, and I'm not saying it's never just one category. It may be, I'm select towards, let's say, Blasians. Like, for instance, my youngest brother is like, he's 5'8", and he's got curly hair. He's got that trifecta. The only thing he don't have is height, but he's 5'8" is enough for most of these chicks if they really like how you look. Don't ever all that crap they talk about height. It depends on how you look, but you know, you gravitate towards the categories of women that gravitate towards you, and it's also a key designed to help you understand where do you pre-qualify at. Who are the women that have you at a pre-qualified status? But you got to feel that out. But what other dudes are basically doing is they're assuming that they're just catch-all, be-all, alpha, beta. Just like, last thing I'm gonna say, white men are select to a lot of black women. Now it don't matter what them white men could be mediocre, but because they're white, we call that the white ice is colder, but they're giving them select treatment. Bill Burke is not a select white dude, but you think Bill Burke couldn't do better with black women? I mean,
Costanza could get these chicks from Seinfeld.
Yeah, it is, and that's a zero. Roasting. That's a reference. Zero came up with that. Nigga tales. Nigga tales. That's what it is. The niggas talking about the bitches they got, and they telling these stories. And some of these stories they're embellishing the truth. But guess what? You basically listening to it. Some of these dudes got whole memberships. The dudes are paying $20-$30 a month. And I ain't even talk about Patreon. And because they thinking they getting game, dudes are telling, but they not really breaking down this stuff. They're not. I'm not against game, but the actual keys of stuff they're not telling you, and that's why I get mad, because they kind of low-key doing what like Ace Metaphor and them are doing to them chicks. They not really giving them actionable information. This is why I promoted Glennon so hard, because Glennon would tell the stories but give you the information behind the stories. The stuff that Glennon was giving y'all for free, really y'all should have been paying about $20.
Yeah, criminally underrated. But to your point, Ed, and this kind of goes into something you talk about all the time. You got dudes who is two things. You got guys, they're trying to get women that they don't qualify. I'm not even gonna say qualify. They're trying to be select to women who aren't gonna fuck with them like that, just based off the strength of, oh, if I can't get this chick, whoever she is, then I'm less of a man. So let's say when it comes to dating out, in my experience, it is infinitely easier for me to deal with a Hispanic chick, Latina, or a white chick than it is a black woman. And so, but somehow that's weak if you go through the path of least resistance. That's weakness. So as a man, you need to just, own up and take these, big back chicks, with bad hygiene principles. Because I mean, even though they're harder to get, it's more man coins, like
I want you to ball up and just take it. Yeah.
And what's crazy is, I understand why the women believe that's female nature, but the men reinforce that, and then they try to hide that under the moniker of game and manhood. I mean, even white boys gravitate towards Asians because Asians are more compliant. Like straight like that. I mean, that's one of the reasons, and they're built like how white men like these chicks to be built.
No ass.
Yeah, I mean, it is
no
what
ass.
it is. It is, yeah. But that's why I'd be like, they be getting mad about black men in Asia. I'm like, most black men, there are exceptions. Shout out to Thanatos, but most black men don't like the type of Asian women. Most black men prefer the Blasians. And truth be told, like you want to talk about going to like, oh man, you got these Blasian mongrel children in Uganda. These Asian men are leaving. Look, truth be told, if they're not problematic, there's dudes for them. Like we don't like the same. Even with black men, don't generally like the same white women. I mean, the ones that are cute in the face can get it for anybody, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Kirsten Bell, or Kirsten Bell. I mean, she's cute, but it's like no ass, man. And I mean, or Jenna Ortega. That's another one.
Yeah, they love Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega's all right, but she ain't. There's better. Like there's definitely better. Like,
but they like them boy built girls. I don't understand.
I don't know about y'all, but I can't stand these damn SpongeBob built bitches.
I don't care. I don't care about what they like. It ain't. I mean, it ain't our problem. It ain't running interference. It ain't what I want, so they can have it. I will say this though. Let me see. A chick. Yeah, like a chicks that'd be a good video. That'd probably be a Patreon though. Like chicks that black men would have probably wrestled white women for. You should do like the race, but see, white men don't be wanting really black chicks like that. So you can't really.
They like them. What did Glenn used to call them? Sisters dipped in vanilla.
So women, we would have had to kind of snatch from them. Lindsay Lohan would have been a chick.
Did y'all get that clip in the back that I sent?
Amanda Bynes, before she went crazy, she was actually on the path. Amanda Bynes would have been. She's kind of. Well, Lindsay Lohan is definitely a chick. The black man would have be like, yeah, you can. Yeah, we're bringing her to the team. It's a couple.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. I mean, I probably Megan Fox is too weird. I can let Megan. She wants to talk about drinking.
Weird.
Yeah, drinking blood and stuff like that. Plus, Megan Fox.
Oh yeah.
Megan Fox come from the trailer, so she can. Y'all can.
What about I know niggas was talking about Adele at one point.
That's because they like fat chicks.
Go on, Ed.
I mean, for real. I mean, Adele lost, but Adele already got a black dude when she what's it called, Rich Paul, but she lost weight. But you know how it is. Them chicks lose weight, they still got.
Yeah, man, the body be all looking like
like I said, SpongeBob built.
Yeah, but shout out to her for losing weight. I ain't gonna hate on her, and she can sing, and she definitely trapped her black.
I think niggas would like Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato got a little body on her.
She's
crazy. Weird. She is crazy.
Yeah, she don't know if she a man or a woman. Pronoun. She strike me as a type of chick because she's mixed. She is mixed. She got some black in her.
I didn't know that.
That's one of the reasons. She one of them Roxanne act crazy chicks because white people be like, trust me, white people they be reminding her that she ain't fully white. You know who else that you would never believe is mixed? Halsey.
Who?
It's a chick by the name of Halsey. If you heard her song, if you ever listened to the white stations, like the mainstream pop stations, she had that song called "Bad at Love." Like she's got some songs, a couple of songs out there.
Can you pull up a picture?
Oh yeah.
She's 50-50. Well, she looks so white, but she's 50. Like I had to play the songs, but she's 50-50.
Yeah, I'm bad in love.
Yeah, yeah, she's mixed. So when you listen to those lyrics and you listen to what that white dude is saying, call me a bitch again. Like, yeah, that's because you know how them white dudes be. If they find out you got a little bit of melanin in you, but she's 50-50. Like her dad's black.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't either, and I don't sweat her because it's like.
So she got the Doja Cat problem. What do you call them? Tragic mulattoes.
Well, Halsey, yeah, I mean Halsey is so white passing that I ain't even mad at her. I really.
You got to put that on a t-shirt, man. When you said that tragic mulatto.
Oh, that's a pro black term. Yeah, that's
man. That's funny.
Tragic mulatto, yeah.
Yeah, that's
say that again. Say the definition again, nigga.
I mean, that's a pro black term. A tragic, that's an old school pro black
term. You gonna have to co-opt that for the new generation.
A tragic mulatto is basically a chick that's basically they're really close to being white passing, but they're not. Like technically, Meghan Markle wouldn't be a tragic mulatto. Sage Steele would be, and what it is it's a condition too. It's kind of like the myth of white womanhood, where they're almost white, so it's like they're so close that they feel it. And so, for instance, a tragic mulatto moment is when Sage Steele was talking about how she was pushing her children on in a stroller down the street. I think it was in New York, and white people were commenting talking to her, just regular conversation. They said, "Oh, are you the nanny?" So she gets accused a nanny when it's her children. So Sage Steele was like right there. I think, yeah, like this is a story she told. And
yeah,
so she's on that. I want biracial to be its own class thing. That's really so.
You talked about is it Russell Simmons' daughter that you talked about? Is that her? Having issue. I think it was Russell Simmons.
With Kimora Simmons, because she's a tragic mulatto. And so what happens is these chicks start to go crazy. It's kind of like, imagine, a sound that like bothers you immediately. Like for me, it's a penny on a table, like a wooden table. Imagine if you hear that sound constantly in the background, maybe not loud, but you know what it is, so it still bothers you, and it kind of eventually drives you crazy. That's what that shit does to these women. And so they just start getting crazy. They start hating their dads. Usually that's another commentary of it. They hate their father. They have this like resentment. And so like Zendaya wouldn't be a tragic mulatto. Like that's that. Like I can give you examples of ones that aren't, but it's a mental condition. It's a mentally transmitted. It's a mental condition.
Like them light skinned chicks that basically only deal with white dudes.
But it's not always that's an indicator, but that's not always like an absolute. But when you see chicks like Doja Cat is a perfect example, Sage Steele is another example.
Isn't Malika Andrews mixed too?
Malika Andrews is a suspected tragic mulatto. But she's mixed. Her mom is Jewish, her dad is black, and trust me, if it wasn't for the black side, Malika Andrews would be looking crazy. Her mom looks crazy. Her mom looks
Yeah,
crazy.
man. When you said that shit, I went and looked at her mom. I was like, God
And
damn,
I'm not,
man.
and you know what? I'm not even, look, man, I'm not even trying to be mad. I'm not even trying to, I know that's rude. Her mom is lucky. Her mom, because if her mom would have had white kids, here's the thing. Well, remember what I told you about white women playing the long game? Especially when you have mixed girls, they're generally going to go black. They're a white. They're generally going to go white, because that they're going to go white. Especially when the family's involved, they're going to go white. And so, pretty much, your grandkids are going to look more like you. Your great grandkids, you're good. I mean, look at LeVar Ball.
Yeah.
And the same thing. And he's mixed. He's mixed.
Isn't Steph Curry's wife? Isn't she mixed?
Well, yeah, they're both. They might as well be. I mean, you look
Yeah.
at. I mean, but my point is, yeah, that's its own thing, because that's that kind of mulatto class. But my point is, usually when you see these chicks talking crazy, it's always in relation to their racial caste, because that's the resources they think they're denied. Now, if you look at a white woman dipped in chocolate, that's going to be what Amara Negra was accused of. But technically, her build is more of a traditional black woman, but she's lost weight recently. They were accusing Iman of that. Iman was with David Bowie. Iman was checking black women hard. Iman was like, "Yo, I got more. Like, I'm 100% Somali, meaning I have much more. Like, I'm 100. I'm more blacker than most of you, like all of you all." She said that right out of her mouth. She didn't care. And Iman, she's a very gorgeous woman.
But you could say that about Janelle Monáe too. I mean, she's another one, I guess you
But
could
she
say.
act like Akeisha. So she got that kind of. She don't act like Akeisha, but she act like an intersectional feminist. So they give her a pass.
Hey,
Because
remember that one Somalian bitch who was going around slapping white folks and shit?
If you don't like black men, they'll never say that. It's always when you don't like black men, and that's something they could say. But anyway, like that'll be more stuff I'll do on the Patreon when doing some comparisons and some stuff like that. Because sometimes when we had these fat videos, or these fat, I made this commentary, kind of comes out of nowhere. That's gonna be more stuff to pay attention to in the Patreon. We can have a little bit more conversations. Doug Green said, "Yeah, it just got enough to her to be." Well, what it is with Halsey is they don't just be knowing off top, but I guess they'll find out, and because they're gonna find out where your parents are, because it ain't like her parents aren't in her life, and then that's something that when they get mad, they bring it up.
But a lot of these singing chicks nowadays are mixed, or some kind of, half white or white passing looking. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these chicks like that.
I think Demi Lovato, what it is, I don't think she's. I'm messed up. I don't think she's half black. I think what it is, she's half Mexican.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, she's like indigenous Mexico. She's half white and half Mexican. So what it is with her is, they're gonna remind her of that too. So that's what it is with her. And then if it's her versus like an Ariana Grande or something, that's where she's not getting the priority. And Hispanics don't be really rallying behind Demi Lovato like they really kind of could. So that's another thing. So she don't know who she is, but whatever. All these chicks, I mean, don't even get me started. I got a video I need to work on Lori Harvey about to join Playboy.
What? Playboy?
Yeah, I heard about that earlier. Yeah, about that Playboy shit. She's doing Playboy. Okay, well, all right.
Good job. It's
not that much surprising to me. It's not surprising.
I personally think that's a scam. Like, I personally think that she's trying to tee it up to try to get a real big payout on like OnlyFans or something. And so this will be a good way of letting people know that's what she on. Yeah. But Steve Harvey looked like a fool. I ain't done Steve Harvey video in a minute, so I'm definitely gonna use that
I wonder if she's gonna make Playboy wait 90 days before they can start taking naked pictures of her.
Well, we'll see. But another thing too is, remember, everybody said Michael B. Jordan was losing. Everybody said like she went from him to she damaged injuries to a dude below him. So clearly she ain't the businesswoman, the hustler and stuff. So people gonna be talking about this, and then people that want to take their hits. Stacey Dash is mixed too, but Stacey Dash, Stacey Dash, good example. I mean,
I was just gonna mention her too. Chicks like that are in too with that even tone copper skin.
But the problem is they wanna bring up. They want to fit in the white side. I didn't even want to say that. I think I don't think the Stacey Dash has an issue with their blackness, but what they want is they want kind of have it both ways. And
Yeah.
white people are not going. Black people is cool with them, but white people are not going to let them have it both ways. That's the problem. And so they kind of take it out on the black side because Damon Dash is like really crazy with that. Like Damon Dash, yeah, he be doing some stupid stuff sometimes. I'd be like, dude, it'd be funny. And then as far as Senna, I like Senna.
Your boy Benzino.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention to him. Yeah, he ain't my boy. I don't not like him, but I'm generally
he be saying some shit though, man.
Yeah, because the Source. I never really liked the Source like that.
You don't like it, but I keep saying it, nigga. I'm like, hey, the light skinned Ninja Clan keep taking the L, nigga.
Not really. I mean, technically, like, if you really Drake don't really count because people because understand, you didn't hear light skinned dudes talk about, yeah, man, light skin is in, looky Drake. So we weren't bigging him up. We don't get to take the hit, and Drake is not, well, technically he is actually.
I mean, as long as Chris Brown is winning, we good. We good as long.
Yeah, Chris Brown was massively suppressed. Chris Brown should be he's worth 100 million. He should be worth like 400 million. But they suppressed him. I mean, at the end of the day,
I'm like, boy, nigga, Roshi, boy, y'all nigga like the skin ninja because wild, nigga, y'all wild as hell.
It's. I don't even want to get into all of that, but because honestly, contrary to pop, I be joking about it, but I don't really be keeping score like that. Like I be really like I don't even be, but I know that'd be a great video for me to put it together. Senna, yeah, a lot of people don't know Senna. Like Senna, she does look extreme. Yeah, she's not trying to do mulatto, because the thing about Senna looks Asian and white. So Senna looks Asian and white. The thing that kind of has people looking at Senna, that y'all know Senna, she's a female streamer. When I found out when I saw her dad, I was like, God damn. And what's funny about her is her dad like raised her by himself because something happened with her mom. So, I mean, yeah, it was funny. Like dudes trying to get her to say the N-word and stuff, and she didn't want to say it. And you could tell by how shy she was about it. I was like, you know what, brother, you did a great job, because you could tell she really did not want to say it. And it was some, they would call them YNs today, was really trying to get her trying to say it. And I'm like, yo, people don't know her dad is black. Like you would never believe. Like I'm gonna show you a picture of this chick, and
I'm looking at her right now. I would never guess. I mean, maybe kind of with the hair. Kind of, maybe kind of, but
yeah. But if she say nigga, you not gonna that logic's going out the window.
Oh yeah, that's on site. That's on site.
She was like Clementine off of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, you already know how I roll about that shit. That's on site, man.
Yeah, could you imagine she got in your Uber car and just started saying,
"Yo, what up?"
Shit, boy. Hey, a short ride that
real
day.
Real talk. But hey, but look at that chick too. The link I sent in the back just now, since you want to show the other one.
Yeah, what she looks like is she looks white. She looks white and Asian. Like if you wouldn't even assume that, but no, her dad is black. Her dad is like Memphis black. Like when I say not skin tone, but I mean he is ADOS. Like yeah, so I was like, oh, okay. And so
yeah, he's black. He's like black for real.
Let me put her dad up. See. This chick is a SYSBM child, if there ever was one. This is an SYSBM child right here. That's why I may start calling. She wouldn't like that,
but no, respect for that though, because a lot of these mixed cats do be a little too comfortable saying nigga. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I got mad respect for that, and I actually was gonna get low key mad at the dude. Like, why are you asking to say that? And yeah, like I was watching that Naruto Unhinged. Like, I don't believe in I be laughing at it, but I'm like, ain't no pass. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, who gave you the N-word pass? And so after I beat your ass, I'm gonna go beat his ass.
Right.
And yeah, like you giving unauthorized, you giving in. There are no N-word passes. Like it's like Eminem don't got an N-word pass. So you gonna have to tell me why like somebody should have it. I'm not saying he should have it, but that's a high bar. Eminem don't got. I'm gonna keep it real with you. A lot of mixed folks shouldn't even have the pass. To be honest with you, I'm dead. A lot of non-FBA folks shouldn't have a pass.
Why you say a lot of mixed? You say FBA, but okay, but why did you say a lot of light skins don't have that
Because
pass?
you got a lot of dudes that they be having this. They want to be around like Hodge twin types. Them like it's a lot like they shouldn't have a oh, how do I have a pass? I'm mixed. No, you have to renew your N-word license every year, and depending on what you're doing. So Hodge twins, first time they came on YouTube, all right, but now no, that is being revoked. Now luckily y'all as big as y'all are, because you're gonna have to just get a gun for them, which I don't believe in that type of violence, so dudes ain't probably gonna run up on them. So whatever. And they really don't say the N-word anyway like that. But
also
Myron shouldn't have the pass.
Myron, I was about to say, yeah, damn.
Fresh is all right. Walter's all right.
Oh, Myron needs a foot up the ass. That's what the hell he needs.
Myron, a lot of non-ADOS black men that y'all just saying it to be coons for white people. Y'all don't need the pass. Like y'all don't need y'all pass renewal. Just like how Trump is revoking birthright citizenship, we revoking because you black, you got the pass. No, I don't care how dark you think you are.
But see, the other thing with that too, Ed, is you got cats, the same cats who are not FBA or not ADOS or whatever, who want to say the N-word. These will be the same ones running interference in black issues and wanting to have all this shit to say about what what we ain't doing or what we are doing, but they don't want to actually hold on to any shit. So the only thing they really want to do is, kind of come in and say the N-word or be able to do that kind of shit.
Yeah, so people would look at them and be like, "Yo, that can't be your kid. Why you lying?" Yo,
and the incarnate to what you said, Great Dane, is that chick, that Brickgate bitch.
Yep.
Yeah. So no, so yeah, so she streams. She be agent in that's AMP situation over there where they kind of affiliate with Kai. So she one of them chicks that are coming up, female streamers that are coming up. Like she's already there, but yeah. So anyway,
I'll add to the even to the N-word thing, because I've always been kind of mixed about it, because my initial thought was, I'm like, well, you know what? Hey, if according to free speech, either everybody can say it or nobody can say it. But I've kind of changed on that, because it's one thing to just say the word, but I think the real issue is, and this is kind of the poison pill that's been sold to black folks, especially when you talk about assimilation, is that, in a perfect world, we can say and do X, Y, and Z. But it's like when you got people who are hostile towards black people off just off the principle of, y'all, like how they be talking about a kata or whatever this shit is they want to bring up. It's like then you have to look at, okay, you want to say nigga, but you don't support black issues at the core, or you're trying to run the interference. And so
what they're trying to do is they're trying to use nigga as a cultural thing. And I'm like, I'm willing to have that conversation if we didn't have no obvious legal racial issues. But you're doing racial issues, like I'm talking about on the law side. You got like, and they're trying to get away with it, which is low key trying to get black people to be comfortable with it. Nah, I'm like, in fact, we need to start retracting it. And people be like, well, other people, let me tell you something. Black people up until 2015, 16, and I could prove it because they used to say it in Boondock, used to say the F-bomb. We don't say that no more because we'll get in trouble. Gay people still say it. Ask me how I know when I was driving for Uber. Gay people will still say it to other gay people. They don't have a problem. They may not just say it all as much as we say the N-word, but they do say it to each other. Women will call each other bees. You know, there are terms that other people can call other people, and it doesn't matter if they're not doing it. Well, what about the music? I don't care, man, because truth be told, black people are not in the main controllership of the distribution of black music. That's the small hat people and white people. So you blame them. You could tell them to stop saying the N-word on radio. They choose, like, even your YouTube algorithms will technically let you say. Now they're starting to not let you say the N-word and get away and nigga and get away with it. So this game that you want to play, yeah, black, we have a unique history here, and yeah, we can do that. But y'all have y'all terms too, and white people, we don't have terms, and you do. But depending on what ethnicity you are, and you are, it's not about using a term; it's about the right to use the term. Like it's this dude I watch on YouTube from time to time. His name's Sikander. I just now realized I knew he plays Mortal Kombat, and he be getting like 3,000 people watching on YouTube. I have it in the background. I didn't know he's Pakistani. He finally, he basically said, I'll be racist to my own people. And he was saying something about Pakistan. He's playing Tekken because apparently they're doing very well. And it was a joke. Why? Because he's Pakistani. So if he's you cousin fucker, da, da, da. I mean, if he say it, I mean, he's Pakistani. He can say it. I mean, that's his people, right? Unless he talk about like another ethnicity, then that's a problem. It's not my problem. I'm not gonna, and he looks Pakistani. I mean, he looks like one of the Pakistanis would look if they in Europe, right? I mean, and I ain't being bad, like not too much. He don't be trying to look white, but what I'm saying is he don't, my point is that everybody knows that. So it's really not about saying the N-word. It's really y'all don't like motherfuckers telling y'all what y'all can't do. And so ultimately, and I've always been on that. And when people say, well, everybody can say it, nobody can say it, I ain't got no problem explaining that, especially if somebody's black. Like, this is why, because they be saying these terms, like we hear women call each other bitches all the time. They'll let you call them that. It's a problem, is it not?
But they'll run that with us. But it's funny that when it comes to this Islamics, there's a lot of stuff they don't say to them. Nobody plays with them. Nobody plays with the small hats. But when it comes to to saying nigga, I mean, yeah, it's just all free and open because
because it's
fuck y'all niggas, like
because it's cheap. No, it's cheap. If it was real, they know they say something with small hats, there's real and immediate danger. They knows what Islam is. Muslims, they'll crash out. They don't care about this law. They only care about the law and the Quran. So they'll go to jail to crash out on you.
Well, there are different ramifications, like you said, and they have different apparatus for dealing with things as well as physical violence. We only have one method of control for these sorts of types of things, and that's the problem. We don't actually have any sort of type of hierarchy of control. Our first and last stop for controlling verbiage or really much of anything is physical violence. That's it. And because of that, people basically get the free pass to say whatever they want, and there's not much you can do about it.
No, most of them won't say it to the face. They just, and so it is effective to a certain extent. What they do now is they try to find people that allow them to do it, like Myron and other people, and that's why I'm like, yo, low key, they need to start being sanctioned and saying, no, I don't want to hear you saying nigga. But see, most of Myron stuff is just like how you see what happened with Fat Joe. Where Fat Joe talk about, I'm like, dude, you really should have never been doing it. If you can say it, Eminem can say it. Oh, well, I'm from the Bronx. I don't care. It's like when Cardi B talking about calling folks roaches and burnt. Oh, that's fuck the broke ass borough. No,
you gotta blame other niggas for that because they allow.
I'm not saying I don't, and I have. Y'all, you have heard me talk about New York niggas and LA niggas. Like you have heard me and say, stop talking about she ain't white, she's Spanish. Y'all basically traded them using the N-word for some Spanish pussy. So you've heard y'all did that in both sides. So yes, I've called that don't happen in Chicago.
Well, I'm not blaming or saying that you have to hold these people accountable individually. What I'm saying is no, I'm not saying that you need to. What I'm saying is that collectively we have no method or apparatus for policing and controlling it.
We do. Yes, we do. We can beat their ass. And
that's the first. That's what I told you a second ago. That's the first and last method of control that we have.
But folks are not sitting here just saying the N-word. Like, ain't nobody gonna walk up to you and say, "What's up, nigga?"
Bullshit.
Well, it
If
ain't
someone
done that.
if
I'm
someone
five
feels
five.
like it,
I'm
I
five
mean, like,
five.
what am I
I'm
gonna
five
do about
five.
it? Beat them up, but then
I
that's
mean,
it.
but
And then I go to jail. That's the end of that.
but that's not happening.
That does happen. It
Okay, so
happens all the time.
when has it happened, PK?
Go
Like
on.
Great Dane.
Uh-huh.
When's the last time a person just walked up and said nigga in your vicinity or to you that you know ain't white? Because it ain't happened to me in
Oh,
a
you
minute.
mean in life?
I
You mean
mean,
just like
nah,
randomly happened, just out of the blue? Is
Yeah,
that what you're asking?
either calling it to
That
you or they out here. Because truth be told,
It
these
happens
motherfuckers.
very rarely. Very rarely.
Because truth be told, people can still get canceled for that shit. You act like motherfuckers be at work saying like people can still get canceled for saying that shit. The race card still works.
if they're gonna say it, they'll try to slide it in on the low if
Right.
they
Yeah,
feel
they not like you
uncomfortable
act
around
test
you.
you.
you
Yeah.
act like we got universal basic nigga passes that's in the United. Like when you voted for Trump, yeah, nigga. Yeah, you know that I'm like that's
No, that's not what I'm saying. You get what you actually understand exactly what I'm getting
they
at.
walking up to PK, it'd be a random white trucker white dude. What's up, my nigga?
Nah, they know what time it is. They not like
And
that.
PK tired of beating people asses and tired of doing 48 hours in jail because he like no, I get what you saying, but it ain't that bad. You making it like it's that bad. I'm like I can count on I've been around. I can count on my hand. I got like two more fingers left on one of my hands. A white person's called me, and they called me a nigga once in high school, and that was the last time they called me a nigga. They thought I was that light skinned dude that wasn't gonna do shit.
Yeah, it's happened to me in life. Just minding my own business, and a random motherfucker walk up to me, like I said, I can count on maybe 2 hands, and it ain't like you said, not all my fingers. You know what I mean? Like there were fights about some of them. Not all.
I didn't even think about that. Xanato said Fat Joe is still mad. J-Lo gave the green light for Puerto Rican women to mess with brothers. with I guess with the Diddy thing. That's funny. But I didn't even think about that. That'd be a whole. But
I mean,
yeah,
to PK's point though, I mean, because I even made a video about this today, because you got people crying about this Trump thing, saying that he's, supposedly rolling back civil rights or whatever. And my thing is, I'm like, look, if you really think it's all that in that live,
People don't know how to read the law. That isn't what happened.
they don't. But my thing is, even let's say that was the case. Let's say he was, hypothetically rolling back civil rights. My thing is, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Are you going to go up to the Capitol like the January 6th people and actually put some shit on the table?
No, they're not gonna do shit. They're not gonna do shit because first of all, and this is a conversation I had on Arts yesterday. I mean, and I'm gonna re-upload that because that was a great conversation. It was kind of a debate style, even though I wasn't debating, but it kind of seemed like I was the way I was going at it. But yeah, so I get what you're saying, PK. That's why I was kind of saying there are certain folks that need to kind of be brought to bear because New York and LA are the top 2 cities, and they do a lot to set the tone. And y'all be letting like these motherfuckers freely say nigga more than they do in the South, but y'all always talking about the South. So yeah, and y'all doing it for sexual access in your mind. These shit's gonna deal with you anyway.
From my experience, I seen Arabs that want to test that. Say the N-word.
Well, what happens is
the Arabs be smearing feces on women's faces.
Yeah, that ain't
I mean
nothing.
That's some light work to them. Calling you niggas light.
Yeah, and truth be told, they want to test. They try to test it, but they not stupid either. They not.
Well, what happens with a lot of these different groups of people, bro, is that what happens? They get in these close proximity relationships. You know what I'm saying? "Quote unquote" intimate in some cases, and they feel like, okay, well, I'm already close to this person. They can say whatever they want to say, and they cool with it, and they don't have any sort of barriers or lines for what it is they can and can't say.
What Arabs be trying
so they
to
get
do
to feeling comfortable, and they get around other homeboys, other niggas, and they like, yeah, I'm a nigga too, and then they gotta get checked, and they don't.
Arabs be trying to test black Muslims. That's what they be doing. And I've seen that, and that be on black Muslims for not checking that, depending on. But that's rare too.
Yeah, but I mean I'm not saying I agree with them doing that, but I kind of understand in a way because I mean there is a I guess you could say a sort of contention between those two, like one's an imposter, one's not.
Ain't none of them niggas. That's the bottom line. Ain't none of them.
Well, I mean, and so I don't even want to make this whole conversation about that because that could be its own video.
Yeah, for sure.
But the thing, but at the end of the day, yeah,
niggas ain't doing nothing. That's you're gonna complain and pray. That's what niggas gonna do.
Because that all comes back to, we're in a gynocracy. They don't want to acknowledge that. So if you can't even be honest about what situation you're in, you can't really do anything. And this is where I start to say, these are where these things start adding up, because these things have to be built. But the problem is dudes can't get past that. You cannot look for black women's permission to do stuff. Y'all got to start saying, look, you have to build your, like, for instance, what's it called? It was talking about putting a chick in a wilderness. Most dudes will fold if you got your dad coming at you, your mom, your family, like that's stuff. Like, I don't even believe she even initiated that. That's just some stuff. That's how I knew she was.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, no, she didn't initiate.
No, because you probably wouldn't have took her back if you thought she was on that type of time. But
absolutely not. Yeah, no.
But my point is that stuff initiated on its own. That's how you know what we're dealing with. She didn't have. I'm not saying that's not her fault, but the fact that that's how I knew she was a.
They formed up like
as soon as you said, I ain't never seen what you look like, dude. As soon as you said that, I knew she was black, because they wouldn't have did that with a non-black person. They wouldn't have did
not
that.
To the same degree. Nah, definitely not.
They would have barely murmured.
Yeah.
Maybe your dad would have been like, "Come on, man." And I'm gonna tell you, they probably was jumping on him because they got better access. Because you seem like you a rogue, whereas like I love my family, I deal with my family, but I can get, you be like Jason Bourne, where you can kind of get gone if they acting up too much. Yeah, I know.
This ain't the first time. This ain't the first time though.
I know the type.
Yeah, I put
I know the type.
You like me in the sense you don't go as hard as I do, but you go kind of hard. I put motherfuckers on punishment, bro. Like real shit. Like I tell them too. Like, this is what you did. Either we not talking, or you gonna have to determine what your punishment's gonna be. We could talk about it, because you finna be on punishment for a while.
Yeah, like no, yeah.
Oh,
So
make no mistake.
My youngest brother is like that. So when my mom be like, "I'm about to do this," I'm like, "All right," and he go get gone. Because
make no mistake though. To y'all's point, make no mistake. Because right now I'm in Charleston right now. Come Monday, I'm actually getting ready to head up because I got a job offer up in North Carolina. When we get up to North Carolina, that's it. I told my wife, I said, "Yo, I'm blocking my mom. She ain't gonna hear it." My mom think I'm joking, because she be on some Birdman type time. You my son, and you gonna always be my son. She be on that shit. And I said, nah. I said, trust and believe, because my mom be getting real disrespectful, and I be having to check her because she be wanting to get disrespectful in front of my kids. And I'm like, who are you? And I tell her, so who are you talking to like that? Like, who are you talking to? You talk to me like you got some sense. And so, I'm with you on that. You have to be willing to let him go.
If she get to try to nutting up in front of my family, if I had one, I don't. But if my mother did that, bro. But then again, I'm mixed. I don't know if you're mixed. I'm mixed.
Listen, I'm full black. I'm full black.
Yeah,
my mom is black.
Listen, bro. My mother, number one, I know my mother wouldn't do that. But if she did, bro, I promise you, it'd be the last goddamn time.
Xanatos
if it wasn't, it would be the last
Xanatos is thinking about clicking on the link. Guys are like, these are my type of people. Not exactly my type of people, but definitely closer to home than I've been. Yeah, so that's why I bring up Xanatos a lot, man. These people got, like, for real. But my point in saying, well, I brought up your dad is because they can't get you, they go at him. Like, your son doing this, doing that.
Oh, yeah.
So he like, come on, man. Like, they
I call my dad and be like, look, you gonna have to handle that. If they can't get right, then they gonna get gone. That's how that goes.
I already know. So it's like,
Well, I mean, I've crashed out on my family like quite a few times. So the first real time, because I mean I've always been a renegade, but the first real time was when I left, like, we grew up Christian, and I left the church and I left the faith as well. And that was a real big issue with my family. It's still kind of an issue because I'm not a Christian anymore. I'm an atheist. And so they have a huge issue with that. my brothers to this day still don't even like talking to me like that
Man, this fool
because
got
of that.
all the SYSBM badges. Well, no, not really. He is a perfect example of somebody going SY almost. Well, technically, they say you still with a black chick, but technically, you
I
doing all
dated
this.
all races.
Nah, you doing all this, you probably get the honorary SYSBM badge just because
He don't get the shiny one. He get the plastic one.
I get the bronze. I get the bronze.
Nah,
Hey, but you know, I'll say
Honorary
this though. To my
SYSBM.
credit, to my credit, I will say this. When my wife and I were dating, I was concerned because like I didn't really want to marry a black woman like that because I don't like the culture and some of this, some of the stuff these chicks be into. I just don't like it. However, my wife, even though she's black, I always say she's got like 10% Keisha in her. Every black woman's got at least 10%. So she got about 10% in her. But she watches anime, and she likes sushi and other shit like
so
that.
basically, she tap water black. Like it's still tap water.
Yeah.
But you can drink. But you can drink outside of we ain't in the third world, so you can drink outside of the faucet. Yeah, it's not bottled water black, but it's
Right.
tap water.
And we have similar sensibilities. Like, for example, one of the tests for me was in the last election. She didn't care for old girl either, and she wasn't on some well, our daughter's black, I'm black. Why don't you want to see a black? That's what my mom was on. She wasn't on no stuff
What
like
she
that.
think about the Obama? I ain't trying to put you on the spot, but she's saying something about the Obama situation.
Yeah, we talked about that today. She thinks Michelle Obama was wrong.
Yeah, because Obama, because it's like when you see how awkward he looked.
Yeah.
It looked like dude, truth be told, it looked awkward in Jimmy Carter's funeral, but it ain't as bad. But when you see how awkward it looked with him him basically walking around like a streamer, it's like you did this to this man and say, oh well, he cheated. First of all, regardless of what Michelle know, obviously she'll know he ain't embarrassed you. You ain't
Right.
You can say what you want about Obama. Obama ain't embarrassed you at all. Like
she can't even use that excuse because Hillary was there. Bill Clinton cheated on her, embarrassed her,
In 4K, goddamn.
Yo, how much? Let me tell you.
And lied about it.
How much is what is?
Maybe
Hillary?
she got used to it. Maybe that's what happened.
No,
Hillary got used to it.
No, Hillary's got sense. Hillary's got sense. She knows. Hillary knows if for anything less, she knows.
No,
Hillary
didn't get used to it. I mean, you can't get used to that happening in the. So I want you to understand something. Michelle Obama, if you put in her name, they say Michelle Obama is worth $70 million, right? They say the Clintons. Now we know what their official net worth ain't nothing compared to the money they can touch because of their connections. We all know this, but they say the Clintons are worth $120 million. So obviously so Michelle Obama is pretty much individually worth more than Hillary Clinton. Now, obviously, if you count their networks, it's not a comparison. But I want you. We know how long the Clintons been in the game versus Michelle, and that's all based on Barack. Like again, Michelle Robinson would not be worth that. Michelle Robinson would still be paying student loan bills off.
Well, no one knows.
I mean, she would probably be making six figures.
No. Nobody knows a Michelle Robinson without Barack Obama.
Yeah. She would be making six figures, but
I don't know about.
No, because she was a lawyer. She was making six figures.
Well, there's no way to know unless she had ran that track. She didn't.
She was making six figures before she met Obama.
Was she?
Yes.
Then why was she in debt?
I mean, it's a lot of people making
Clintons in debt?
You know how much you know how much law school costs? Like they be. I mean, that's I mean,
not
it wasn't
7 figures. Not at the time.
Well, she wasn't 7 figures in debt.
Well, you get the.
I mean, so she's bad at managing money. I mean, people who make six figures are not automatically just better money managers.
Well, what it is too is they don't pay off their student loans first either. So that they defer it and until they get to the. I get what you're saying, but it's not that bad. She wouldn't have been. He didn't pull her off the street. I mean,
he pulled her off the street. Dusted her off. It was like, yo,
PK,
ride with me.
PK, like he pulled her off.
President.
PK, like he pulled off the air mattress.
Get on. That's what happened.
It ain't that bad.
I mean, but you know what's crazy though, PK? If that was the case, and I'm not saying it's not, if that was the case, Obama would have a better chick than what Michelle is. If he actually picked a chick off an air mattress would treat him better than Michelle Obama.
Hey, bro, he
That's
loved
the
her.
truth of it.
He loved her. That was the issue, bro. He fell in love with
No,
her.
Hey, no woman I love that much that I'm gonna let me tell you something, man. The last thing I'm gonna let a woman do, because Michelle Obama's the same one, if I'm not mistaken, who was saying that she still makes Barack do the dishes. That's some incredibly stupid shit to say about a man, the most powerful black person.
What man you know is gonna let his wife talk about him like that if he don't absolutely head over
A black
to
man,
her?
a black man, a black man.
And I did ask. I just curious, but another thing too is most of Michelle's audiences, as far as it gives her money, is white people, white women. So this thing about
so they be living vicariously through her. I
so-
wish I could get him to do this.
So let's think about it. She gets like 700. We found it out. She gets like $750,000 per speech. 750K, not 75K, 750K, and she gets and she made money off her book.
Yeah, put her off the street, dusted her off, and now all she got to do is walk around and talk, and she gets paid. All because he was president.
Yeah, so I mean, so that's a white female audience that produces that. It's not a black female. Black women are not buying her. Well, to somebody told me some black women are buying her book. So let me say that. Like it is the upper end black women are. So let me not.
But even if all black women did buy her books, it's not enough for her to be getting that type of pull either way. So I mean, she probably even if she does have a lot of black women buying her shit. You know, it's the white women that are going to make it happen because I mean that's the largest demographic. You know, they're going to make that happen.
Yeah, and that's why. Yeah, and when black women act like they don't understand that, which is why they don't understand that, which is why they be anyway. I ain't going on that, but yeah, we're about to wrap this up in a little bit. I know Usual Business came on, but I said I would go on for 2. We went on for 3. Maybe y'all got some cash apps in here. Make sure y'all get them in while y'all can get them in. Super chats, all that. Appreciate everybody that's done that. And like I said, I'll be doing little small videos as far as where the channel's going, maybe watch something, so, kind of ancillary to this. Cut some of the stuff out on this, but I'll leave this up for a little bit.
Oh,
but there's
congrats.
a couple of gems. Yeah.
Congrats, Edward, man. I saw you finally got to your little 10K, man, if I'm correct, right? 10K?
Yeah, 10K. Yeah, so.
Hey, man. Hey, bro, I'm trying to get to my 500 and I'll be happy with that, bro.
Well, you know how I am. I ain't got no problem sharing people's channels, especially if they spit some good stuff. Let me see. I told my mom that Michelle was never happy about Obama. I mean, it is what it is, but ultimately, that story is still yet to be written because I think that fallout is going to be slow and drawn out because we got to see where white women land because I don't think a lot of white women are going to land well on that. But right now, everybody's paying attention to what Trump is doing.
I think that divorce, or this is a slow rolling divorce. They're going to divorce, but it's a matter of how long it takes for it to happen. Unless they become like fucking 80 years old together and they just hate each other and they stay together because that's all they know.
I mean, she's like 59 or 60. So I'm like, what are you gonna really do? Because ultimately,
she's like 60 something.
You can't claim first lady if you're not married. It doesn't look right.
And that's what black women do, though.
But
that's what 92s do. That's why that's the issue I've always had with women like that. Like black women don't have an issue with that, but when you get to like the 89s and 92s, that's when you really start seeing it being more pronounced.
Yeah, and that's why when 89s and 92s start talking about why can't they find a man, stuff like this is why. Like they don't you would think divestors would really go in on Michelle Obama because this is what non-black people see. They don't just he's a black man, so of course she did that to her. No,
man, you gotta remember, bro. You gotta understand he's still a black man in their eyes. So black man is a black man. So to a divestor, it is what it is.
Yeah, but the problem is white people non-black men don't look at it that way. They may not.
Divestors are aware of that.
They're looking at and they should but they act like they don't know that. They look at you as bad stock too. They look at it all as bad culture. That's why they see it, and so that messes up your ability to date out. That's why I laugh because I'm like some of this stuff don't even make sense if you're trying to date out. But anyway, some of y'all have been telling. I'm gonna end this. Obviously all y'all gonna get y'all last thought. But somebody y'all telling me to get in on Severance. I have been watching that. That black dude Milchick be it's quite a few. It's a couple black dudes in there, but it's funny. It's a funny show.
Oh,
So yeah.
oh,
But anyway,
Ed,
yeah.
before you go, I'm gonna send you something on Discord necessarily. It may not be tonight, but it definitely be by the morning, right? I think you may want to look into that or send it to BGS as something he can probably go through. I don't know if you want to go through it personally, but I definitely think it's something that you would
What is it?
like to do.
Is it something like what is it, like 5 hour thing or what?
No, no, no. It's not even that. It's like a 2, 3 minute. Like it's a guy that from Nigeria, right? He basically been raised over here, right? And basically, as his time of being over here, he like he pro black and everything, right? You see what I'm saying, right? But as he starts to kind of like you see like the transition from how he originally started and so to now he like I can't deal with you black women. Like like you really got to see like I don't know if you've seen Sister Girl
Well,
from
the problem is they get this Claire Huxtable imagery of black women, and so
yeah.
they assume that's and then it's also this rival thing talk about what they talk about black men. That's why I keep saying if you can deal with them, then I will tip my hat off to you and say you a better man than us.
Yeah,
Shit.
but basically necessarily right. Like he had his little. I think he finally had his like his 2, 3 coming to Jesus moment necessarily. I think I sent some stuff to BGS and BGS played some of his stuff, but like the new like right now he fully understands. I
So
think
are
he
you
been
you talking about Obi?
not Obi bro necessarily.
Oh.
I gotta send it to you on
All right, well, Edward Anderson 300K,
Hey man,
make sure
yeah.
y'all hit up the Patreon as well, like as a free member. Like y'all ain't look, man, I ain't technically got tiers yet, and I share stuff on as on the free members as well. So if I'm like going in on somebody on like Twitter and it's viral, y'all can jump in on that. So jump in on a free member because there's updates, and I deal with the Patreon every
we
day.
gonna we gonna do a deal. Listen, this the deal, right? For all these men who say they want them, we gonna do a 1 for 2 deal. It ain't a 2 for 1. We doing a 1 for 2. You buy one for half off, and we gonna give you 2 for free.
Yeah, you
God
get
damn,
yeah
that's the discount.
we
They
gonna
and they still gonna stay on the shelves. They
we call
still
we,
gonna be on the
we
shelves.
call it the come getter discount. In fact, I'd go Craigslist and what's the one where it's free stuff? Come pick them up.
Hey, remember
Yeah,
what you call it, Ed? You call it Keisha's list. Come pick them up.
yeah. I gotta do I gotta do AI on that. It's a couple things I gotta do
We gonna
AI.
put signs outside, bro. We gonna set up a website for you, bro. It's all ready. Just come on over,
Hey,
bro.
we'll throw in free delivery. We'll come to you, Doc.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Drop
That's
them off at your door.
so yeah. Email in video, or hit me up on the Patreon so you can DM me on that. So what PK? What are your final thoughts?
I ain't thinking about. I'm just having a conversation. Have a good night.
No, yeah. Appreciate you coming up. Like I said, it's going. PK is in the Discord. We be going in on the Discord.
Yeah,
I
my bad. I'm gonna put it in the Discord right now, man, so you can see it. And so that the people if they want to see it, right? I'm gonna give like the 3 videos or whatever in the Discord, so y'all can just see it from there.
the
Man.
Patreon is also the gateway into the Discord as well. Rather y'all emailing me in the Discord be lit. I'm in the Discord all the time, every day, and the Discord. And trust me, even when I wasn't in the Discord, people were keeping that coming. So it's all categorized and everything. PK can tell you. All right. So user visit. So Nate, what's your final thoughts?
Oh no, man. I appreciate for having me on this panel, man. Appreciate everybody on the panel. Uh, if you want some more content, topics to talk about, I had posted on the Discord. I know Melissa Forrest, she went off on Joe Button. That make for a good,
Oh
5-minute
yeah.
video.
And then when I
So
find
she
y'all,
went off on
good.
her boss, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray Hanna talk about light skinned niggas taking the L. Yeah, I guess that's another L.
Jesus Christ.
But she getting comfortable. People forget she was on Mike Rashid's joint because I know Mike Rashid said something about Myron, but she monkey brand from Mike Rashid to Joe Button, and it's like Melissa Ford can't run a podcast on her own. Melissa is the type. Yeah, she can't because
Yeah, she needs somebody there.
I think Joe
Yeah,
Button, he said that too.
But you saw the podcast she has been doing talking about the goofy shit she talks about.
Yeah, but the problem, and it's great content, but what she's saying is marriage is sex work, and I mean, this is what you get for marrying feminism with this whore culture.
Which is absolutely insane. I mean, the benefits that women get from marriage, it makes absolutely no sense why you would say something like that.
Melissa Ford is a diesel. That's when I'm gonna tell you something. If you chicks that don't necessarily look like they're diesels, when they start saying that means they sold pussy.
Yeah.
Basically, bro, like I can already like I don't know if I live in Atlanta, so I can almost instantly tell when I'm talking to a chick. When you sit here, you know, it's like certain buzzwords, pay me for my time, shit like that. You be like, oh, okay. See what I'm saying? I got a client. What is it? I like to go on dinner, like certain kind of dinner dates. I be like,
yeah. Your time, like women, your time is valuable. Like dudes, your time is not valuable. Like trust most dudes, dudes just need about an hour. Like when you say pay you for your time, we're talking about sex. Like an hour for 30. That's I'm talking about foreplay. Really, some dudes 20 minutes. Like real talk. Some dudes just say like this thing about your time. Like ain't nobody trying to. Most of y'all are not worth talking to for real. And this is coming from somebody that trust me. There are females that are worth talking to, but most of you chicks are not worth talking to. And most of y'all can't talk about nothing past Real Housewives or basic trending stuff. And so and I know the women it can. But
shit, Bernice Burgos be charging $7,500.
Because I'll say this: the thing with Bernice Burgos probably is obviously them dudes got it like that if they doing that, and she's built up a network. Bernice Burgos strikes me as somebody that ain't done nobody dirty. They got paper, and so. She probably got a wide portfolio of dudes that want to get at that, even though she old. Bernice Burgos old. My bitch, fuck you. What about your daughter? Oh, she's
like 40 something, isn't
it? Bernice Burgos' daughter, like 23, 24. Man, fuck you.
Oh yeah, you out the game. That's crazy, man.
But she not really, Nick. She's still putting up videos. Motherfuckers are still dealing with her like she 37, 36.
Yeah, so out there saying that she looked better than her daughter. It was like, wow.
But see, part of that is this, like you were talking about.
Because I don't think her daughter is artificial like that. But go ahead.
Yeah, but a part of it is this fetish that a lot of niggas have for older chicks, like the MILF thing, and that's a very powerful.
Yeah, that's that.
Imprint.
Yeah, the MILF cougar thing, I get that, and you're not wrong, but what it is deeper than that. That's that matriarchal mommy shit. That's that, that auntie, that's that auntie shit. Like a lot of, and I've had niggas like try to fight me over this shit because I said, I got too close to home, did I, nigga?
Yeah.
You know, when I be like, nigga, y'all be fucking let's say you got like your mom's friend that she ain't blood related, but she might as well be like an aunt because she was around you was young, and these women to be like y'all be fucking chicks that are older. Remember, and I keep bringing this up. Anton, yeah, man, I lost my virginity. I was 12 to an older chick, and this is the dude is Mr. You got to do it the right way, and so that's why they
Mr.
was
ethics and shit.
But Boozy, all of them, they got this fetish where a lot of that shit is just like how they say. Jason Black says there's an emotional incestuousness with son husbands and stuff like that. On the woman's side, it's the same thing in reverse. Like when you look at Usher, when you look at and because it's not considered, like I said, there is no age of consent that the black community, black men or black women recognize for black males. If you look the part, you are the part. Right. So it's not looked at like, when Glennon said what he said, everybody lost their mind. But in the reverse, it wouldn't be that bad. Like really, the Dre and Michelle thing, people only care because them dudes got money. But if they didn't have money, they wouldn't care. I mean, even like it's not as bad. Even with the August Alsina thing, that only looked bad because it was its friend. So you doing that really, really close to home.
What's funny about it?
Look at what Keisha Cole is doing. Go ahead.
Yeah, but what's funny about it is, I mean, as somebody who's I've dealt with these types of chicks, like these older. I think the oldest I've gone is like 57. And
boy, Jesus, boy.
Yeah.
Boy, you out here. You
PK left too early.
Well,
That's
I ain't gonna say,
Shaq.
you bad paying fishing, bro. You out here.
I mean, I'm sure she's more like a Nicole Murphy type. I'm gonna choose to believe that.
Yeah, choose to do that, bro. Choose to, bro.
No. I've dealt with black women, and the thing I've noticed, because I've dealt with women of different races who of different ages. Like I've gone as old as 57. I mean, I've gone as young as 18 as an adult, right? And so what I found with these older chicks, and this is just across the board with older black women, just like you have dudes who have a mommy complex in a way, like you were talking about, you have black women who have the same thing, where they have this need to like mother a man, and not even mother him, but have like that matriarchal control. And so you have this weird dynamic where I give you one example. I had this one chick trying to run like this Erica Badu-esque type game on me about how yeah, it's like, I can open your mind. And that doesn't work on me because I'm not a magical nigga.
By the way, Great Dane does have a YouTube channel, in case y'all, because this is some select shit that really select dudes can really speak on. So go ahead.
Yeah, but they try to run that game, and you have most of these, especially these black women. I don't care how good they look. When you're dealing with a chick like 40 plus, a lot of them are not really good in bed. Especially
Not like they should be
at all, really. I mean, a lot of these chicks, if you're talking about like normal chicks, even the ones who like are hitting on some looks, they're not good in bed. The only so what they do is they overcompensate with this other magical shit, or what a man's supposed to be, and like this some of them they'll do the Erica Badu magical shit. Some of them do the God shit, where they'll be on this like, I'm God's chosen vessel. They be on some weird shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for real. I've seen some shit out here, but they're not good at that. And a lot of these, to be honest with you, a lot of these older black chicks, like who are not diesels, who are just even like your 92s and below, they don't even suck dick. You
What?
you go to a 50, you go to like a 40 plus black chick or a 50 plus black chick talking about some head, they don't even do it. And the ones that do, they don't even do it correctly. So you're not even getting any bang for your buck when you're dealing with these older
yeah, and a lot of them chicks be tired. That's why really you want to deal with them
The
like
bees are going out, bro.
when they in their 30s. Like if they still in their 30s, it depends, but and it depends too, because it depends the generation you dealing with. Because now with these new generation mofos, you just don't know. But yeah, man. But yeah, but that's what people don't be talking about, especially if you're dealing with these light skinned chicks that they just been operating on pure I'm pretty. This is where dark skinned women can kind of low key kind of beat them out a little bit, because dark skin tends to age better too.
Yeah. I had a dark skinned chick. It's crazy. Another thing I've noticed with these older black women as well too is a lot of them, man, it's amazing. They just become so reclusive. You know what I mean? You're talking about a cat lady. A lot of these chicks, man, unless they got kids, if they died today, you wouldn't know. Nobody would know. You know what I mean? They're so reclusive. So there's like this one chick I used to talk to, she was 53, but she was a part of a bikers club. And like an all girl bikers club. So she rode motorcycles and stuff, but she was like I guess you could say she's like an 89. She is highly college educated. She was a principal at a school. Not quite a 92, but she was like up there. But she had a pretty good career, education and stuff. She had her kids, never been married, and her body was tight. And so she was kind of rare, you know what I mean, for women in that class. But I mean, paying to fuck like a 40 plus woman to me is absolutely insane. Maybe if you're talking about a diesel, maybe you're getting a good trade off, but for the most part, man, most of these chicks ain't really hitting. When you get to that level,
bro. 20,
no.
20 and I'm doing 20 and 30, and I had me a 40 before. I'm telling you, it's all the same, bro.
The guys who are dealing with those types of chicks, they're dealing with them because it's like a related, like they either, like how you were saying with they either got, that's an imprint they got early on, or you know, where they just can't mentally relate to a younger chick, and I understand that to some degree. Or they're looking for like this magical, like
Erica
this idea.
Badu experience.
Yeah,
I want to get what you did to Common and Andre 3000. You know,
yeah.
I'm like, and yeah, and for real, and dudes, and that's where dudes. You got a lot of that in the pro black world. You got a lot of these chicks that they start wanting to put oil on their body. They want to start talking about yoni. Like technically, Six the Goddess kind of taps into that on the younger side of that for those chicks. Those chicks are like 38, 39, 44. And it's basically them trying to reset the value. And that shit only works on black men, by the way. That shit
But
really only works on ADOS black men.
yeah,
Because
but it's
Africans
problematic.
Africans are not socialized to deal with older women like that. Like there's that much older than them. They're gonna go younger. So really, ADOS, this is why they can't go nowhere and really say that. So what happens is they start really starting to aim at younger dudes. So again, this is where a lot of these select guys, especially when you're like of age, like really 16 to like 30, you really got to pay attention because they know they have intentions behind what they're doing. They know this is why they get mad when this is why you think these chicks always talking about black men deal with younger women because you want to control them. Black men basically give, these are the rewards, this is what I expect. Black men don't be really controlling women. Like if you got the closest dude you get to quote unquote control, that's code for I don't have a leverage over this man. This man can put me in timeout because he got other chicks. And I'm cool with that, but I don't like the control mechanism. Because ultimately, if a man is quote unquote controlling, you can just leave. You always got other dudes. Y'all be acting like y'all don't be having other dudes that y'all could jump to. That's BS. So
And that's what
yeah, go ahead.
no, that's what older black women hate the most. The ones who are out here operating, they want control. When I talk to these chicks, when I talk to them, you know, when you listen to, okay, you got, let's say they do have kids, okay, you got 3 kids by 3 different guys. It's always funny how the guy they were supposed to be with just somehow mysteriously died. You know, the guy they were supposed to get married to, the guy they were supposed to be in a relationship with, he just end up dead for some reason. You know what I mean?
No. It's either he dies necessarily, or or it just wasn't the proper time. It just couldn't work, bro.
Yeah, or he cheated, or some kind of way where the guy they were supposed to be with lives on in a distant memory, kind of like with Jada and Tupac.
Yeah, and you saw that with a lot of a lot of the Kevin Samuels conversation. And remember, these are women that were getting paid to call Kevin. All they called, they waited. They didn't just call; they waited for a while to get on there. This is the type of stuff Kevin exposed, and I don't even think he intentionally exposed it. Like that's why when they have these narratives throwing us under the bus, all of that is just a perpetual deflectionary mechanism. So. Yeah, man. Like these chicks, when you're 16 to that like really 30 years old, they why you think they got a name? They literally got a category for the subspecies of black men. It's YN. They literally got a category name for y'all now. And trust me, you're going to see older women start using that because they're targeting y'all because y'all don't know. And you see this in sports, you see this, and they know, and God help you if they can get a baby out of you.
Reckless niggas with good sex. That's what a YN is. A reckless nigga with good sex.
Yeah, and this is why I keep saying, if y'all can do 5-star sex or 4-star sex, even 3-star sex, when you talk about them older chicks, y'all need to start charging them. Because at the very least, and I'm not necessarily saying charge them with money. Y'all need to charge them with resources. There's different stuff y'all can barter with because y'all need to be intentional about how they deal with it. See, Jason Black, it was intentional about how he dealt with them chicks. A lot of these dudes are not intentional. Y'all just go with the flow type of dudes. And these women bank on that. Why you think that chick, the Jesse Williams, you know, the mixed dude, why you think the actor, why you think she got so angry when he left? Like when he got him, he was never gonna stay. He gave you 2 kids. She went on like an 8-year jihad against him.
I mean, that's what you gotta really look at it from her point of view. I mean, she found a man that's at least 4 or 5. She bought a man basically, but
no, she rented a man. Like the reality is the reality. No.
In her mind,
but at the end of the day, what did I get out of this? You got 2 kids from a dude with a genetic profile that, quite frankly, you shouldn't even be able to touch with what you look like. And then on top of that, you got child support. So whatever money you gave him, you pretty much got it paid back. You like pretty much like for real. The fact that he gave you 2 kids and not twins says a lot. And you getting and you mad like are you serious? Like it's like you got 2 kids. What are we talking about? And he had to pay anyway. I get what you're saying. You're not wrong, but that's the delusion. And so, and truth be told, had that been a white dude, the courts wouldn't have allowed you to do all that. You would have just been mad. That's another thing. The women can only do what the courts allow them to do. Courts aren't allowing them to run white dudes through the coals like this. And truth be told,
ask Halle Berry.
And truth be told, as Halle Berry, as Stacey Dash, when she tried to call the police, and all the white family members teamed up on her. I mean, it doesn't work that way. But yeah, I've dropped Great Dane's channel in the link because y'all want to ask him about more of these stories because the stuff.
Yeah, I got some stories on my channel because I got some stuff.
I ain't even gonna front stuff you saying right here. That's like Patreon type stuff. Like that's like $3 in the hat. Because for real, that's some good stuff. Some of these dudes, they be giving away the game. I'm not here to say not to do the free stuff, but the way you do it is you give them some story and then be like the details. You gotta go to Patreon. Be like just $3. $3 ain't nothing.
No, I mean you're 100% because man, a lot of these I have so many stories. It's crazy. I've forgotten more stories than I've actually shared. You know what I mean? Because it's like I'll be sitting in the car. And because I'm weird, objects and locations jog my memory. So I'll be driving past somewhere I used to hang out, and I'll be like, "Oh, damn, I remember a story."
I remember so. Yes, I be on the same stuff, bro. I be on the same stuff, man.
But I mean, but to that point, one of the things my dad told me when I was young, he always told me, he said, "Son," he said, don't date a woman that's 2 years older than you," because I wasn't always hit to the game. You know what I mean? Not like that. I had to actually learn a lot of this stuff through experience. And so I was able to pull some things from the internet here and there, but for the most part, I had to earn my stripes. And so a lot of these cats, man, I see the stuff that a lot of these niggas are on, especially when it comes to these chicks. Like the worship of older women is a serious issue.
It really is.
It's a serious issue. Like, don't get me wrong. If for me,
it's called your mama syndrome.
Exactly. For me, and to that point, my mother hates the fact because my mom is 55. I'm 30. She hates the fact that I was dealing with when I was in my early 20s. I was dealing with older chicks. Like I was 23, living with a chick who was like 39. And that's a whole series of events by itself. My mom couldn't stand that. My dad doesn't like it either. I mean, because he and I be dealing with the same kind of chick.
This nigga sound like he be playing game. Remember, he said he light skinned. He sound like he be playing game of gynocracy in his household, man. It's like when select niggas go up against the gynocentric. See, my mom was weird because my mom didn't like women. So my mom had matriarchal tendencies, but she didn't want no girls. Ask me how I know, and I'm the oldest, and when I say she had some women friends, but she didn't really have girlfriends like that. So I say all that to say she didn't have the I need to show up for my sisterhood, circle. And because a lot of that stuff be that like you sacrificing your own stuff to show your sisters that you got it, which is funny because this is what they act like black men do when black men are way more likely to go rogue on other black men, especially if they're like day one type friends as than black women are.
Well, my mom is sadistic. So what my mom is
light skinned.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna tell you who
that's extra crazy.
I'm gonna tell you who she used to look like too. She used to favor Tisha Campbell from the Martin Show.
Okay.
Just what she just had her legs were just a little bit bigger, bigger titties. But no, my mom was light skinned, and my mom was, you know, she was fine back in the day, and she is sadistic. So what she used to do was because you know my mom, you know,
Saint Cyr said Gen X parents.
yeah, she went to Norfolk State. That's where her and my dad met because he was stationed out there in the military. So you know, what she used to do was she would go. This is what she told me. She would go to a man and be like, you know, basically talk down to him, like, yeah, you know, you ain't shit, you know, you just another nigga, blah 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 blah. Then she would flip the script and be like, but you know what? You still a good man. You still a good brother. I'll still deal with you. And so
That
she would.
sounds like some New York shit. But go ahead.
But my mom's from DC, man.
Yeah.
So but she used to do sadistic shit, man, even to my father. And you know, like because her and my dad are separated, and they've been separated for like 5 years now. And my dad, you know, my dad is like an SWP type. Like he's not like clueless. He knows some stuff. But he's a
He
straight
still
cut dude.
believes.
Yeah.
If you do the right thing will do right by you.
Exactly.
I
He's
get
a
it.
country dude. He's from the country, straight cut. Worked a job. Upstanding guy. And my mom's a fucking hustler, man. I mean, like she's a hustler, you know. And so I remember one day my mom and we were riding in the car, and I said, you know what, mom? I said I figured it out. I said you think you're better than dad, and she just kind of got this stupid smirk on her face that she gets basically when you done found out what she's on.
Yeah, you know the funny thing is, just to bring a Star Wars reference, is black men like being the Darth Vader type, like the warrior type, but rarely do you see black men be Sith Inquisitors. Rarely do you see black men be like Darth Sidious, because it's not that we can't do it; it's that the worldview you have to have.
To do that, yeah.
Because when dudes are like that, black women, I'm not just talking about Sidious once he turned, I'm just talking about like how he was even before. Black women don't really know how to deal with that because they usually don't encounter dudes, because there's a certain level of intention about your environment that you have to have in order to be able to do that it just goes against the worldview of how black men are socialized. So at best, black men will be the warrior type in the sense of Darth Vader, even may pop a chick upside the head. Not saying you should, but what they want, but with the level of like thought process, like even when Sidious was like, there's stories about when Sidious was Dooku, because Darth Maul is smart, but Darth Maul is just the average, he's a tool, versus Dooku wasn't. And there was times before Sidious became Sidious that he worried about Dooku, because when he was still under Plagueis, Dooku was very strong, and if Dooku got the dark side, because when Sidious found out that he went up against Yoda, and Yoda didn't quickly chop his head off, he was like, Dooku might be a problem, which is why he didn't tell Dooku everything. He always kept his distance with Dooku, because Dooku was never the main goal anyway, but
Dooku was smart. Dooku came from he was an aristocracy.
Well, it ain't. We're just talking about no. We're just talking about his Force stuff. Like, but the thing is, if Dooku hung around too long, this is why he wanted Ventress killed. Because if Dooku hung around too long, Dooku might get danger close, and he worried about that with Dooku versus anybody. He never worried about that with anybody else other than Dooku. Dooku and Yoda are like the two people Sidious worried about more than anybody. And so my point is, there's a certain thought process. I get what you're saying, there's a certain process Dooku had. Most black men don't have that. Even Anakin, Darth Vader never had that thought process. He never figured that out at the end of the day. And most black men don't have that, because if you start to look at black women that way in a very clear-eyed way, it becomes a problem. Because a lot of the stuff I was with that too. Black women do not like. It's not.
They don't like men that's smarter than them.
They like you intelligent enough to be competent and to be able to, and them not have to baby you until they want to. But what they don't like planners. They don't like dudes that are capable of, you just throw them out there and they have plans, contingency plans. They can live off the land, so to speak. That's probably what your mom considered when you dealing with them older chicks. They don't like that because they have no leverage on that. Everything always comes back to leverage. And if they don't have leverage over you, they see you as a threat. This is one reason why they look at their daughters as a sexual threat. It's all about leverage. And black men, the way you dominate a woman is you remove any leverage she has, to where the only thing she could do is either comply or leave. They're like, so for instance, if you're dealing, this is why people, why should you have a watch, or why should you, even if you don't necessarily have affinity to date other races or women, why you should be open to that, because that is leverage that you can go to. So if black women are acting up now, it's not okay. They're turning off your ability to access sex. And dudes turn that off in their own head because in their mind, they're portraying black women if they have sex with somebody else. This is why they don't like SYSBM. This is why they don't like passport bro. These are leverage points. And it's not about us leveraging them. It's not about us doing that to do something to them. It's about us. It's insurance.
Yeah,
it's insurance. And it's insurance. And they know if you have insurance, you're not gonna need them. Like, for instance, like they don't want to let electric cars in here in China for a variety of reasons, but mainly it's because the Chinese can produce these cars very inexpensively. But we understand what that'll do to the car market if you can get a car $30,000-$25,000 that's an electric car. It's the market. It's just like in diamonds, how they only release a certain amount of diamonds, even though they don't let all the diamonds out that can be out, because they're controlling the price. But black men don't think like that. But see, this is why when we talk about the red pill, notice how they always try to make like the red pill seem like it's this bad thing, but they can't really explain what it is. Even that video that John did, that dude on TikTok, they can't explain the problems. They just always got to muddy it up. It's because if the more intentionally you think about your own environment, your own situation, the more things you begin to see. The more things you begin to see, the more things you have dominion over. And women do not have that kind of control. Women do not have physical dominion over men. They have that over their sons because they can control a room and board. But outside of that, they have no leverage other than vagina. This is why they got so mad at cooking with Kaya. But go ahead.
Yeah,
And then
but to your point, that has been really the crux of any issue I've had with black women in the dating space has been over leverage. Because even with and that's one of the reasons why my father didn't want me dealing with certain types of chicks when I was younger, because he would always say, oh yeah, you're not her speed, meaning she would kind of run all over you. But in a way, even my dad would always say that he wanted me to have a woman who could kind of keep me in check, because I'm not a loose cannon, but I do what I do, and I do what I believe is right, and I don't really consult people like that. I just do. I chart my own course. I have my own plan. Like in my marriage, I'm the one with the plan. There is no let me talk to my wife and see what she. No. This is the plan. Do you have any questions, or do you have anything you want to bring up? And if you don't have anything, if you don't have a plan better than mine, I'm not hearing anything else. Unless your plan is better than what I said we're gonna do, then that's just in a discussion. She understands that. And she understands that because she knows I'm going to move forward with or without her. And I've always been that way. I don't have this issue where it's like, oh man, I just gotta, let me see. No, I would rather beg for forgiveness and ask for permission. I move, and it is what it is.
Dang, I think that's the problem I have with my family now, man. It's just that, like, at this point, like, they already know. Like, I already told them I'm moving to Kenya by the end of this year, right? And it was like, why are you moving to Kenya? They already kind of understand. Like, I have me and one other cousin. Like, when I mean his girlfriend slash wife control him like a little puppet, right? And for me, I don't know, maybe because my mom passed, right? Right? So maybe the gynocracy, delivery system didn't go fully into me because my mom passed, right? So for me, they know they just can't control. They tried necessarily at one point in time, but after they kind of saw like, hey, you ain't gonna just kind of running me this kind of way. They was like, oh well, this one off the reservation.
Well, yeah, because they believe that they can control you in that sense. Okay, where they're saying like, okay, we're not going to accept that. As in, agree with you, hey, that this problem, is a problem and that it exists. They're fighting you because they want you to believe into the illusion. They,
Oh
they
yeah.
want you, they want you to stay in that pod.
Yeah, they're trying to maintain the status quo. That's what they're trying, and even I mean that's actually I'm not gonna comment, but that's actually kind of wild. Like I get what your dad is saying with the check thing to a certain extent, but it's like okay, there's a way to say that if you're trying to foster leaders, but but it's but generally another group hears that they're gonna be like, why? That doesn't make sense. Keep you in like why would you as a man say that to your son? What would you talk like that doesn't make sense? And it's
The
like if you
matriarchy is strong, bro.
and if you ask somebody like he said that in the barbershop, I would be like, well, explain to me what specifically you mean. And then I'd ask for something deeper than a loose cannon thing. Cause like when you say loose cannon, give me an example of
Well,
like
I'll give you an example. So like I've always been an avid reader, right? I used to argue with teachers. I've always been a free thinker, and I was always like, my parents felt like I was radical to the point where my parents
Mm.
actually hid books from me. My mom took an African studies class when she was in college, so I was like 8, 9 years old reading her college books, learning about the African kings and shit like that. And so they actually would hide books from me. The only book they would really let me read freely was the Bible, you know. And so even the pastor of the church we were at, he was like, "Yo," he was like, "Dane." He was like, y'all got to keep him under wrap because he has a powerful mind, and we don't want his mind to be corrupted. So y'all got to it was to the point where I knew this guy. I was in high school at the time. I knew this guy at the church, and he worked for the government. He had government contracts, and he kind of got me started on some books. He was like, "Hey, read Behold a Pale White Horse, read these books," and he and I would kind of talk about like deep politics and stuff. And so my parents kind of put it into that too. And so they basically did everything they could to keep me from going too far out there as far as learning stuff that they didn't feel was necessary. So this was like a ongoing issue with my family because I mean, even now, the stuff I talk about on my channel, the stuff that we talk about in this space, even the things I listen to politically, my family regards as being, just
heresy.
yeah, that's the word I was thinking of, heresy, pretty much. And so, I mean, I'm an adult ever since I've, been an adult. And here's what's crazy, man. I mean, I've been living on my own, doing my own thing, living under my own power. And my family, they still look at me kind of weird. They're like, yeah, man, he's out there. And I've always gotten that stigma from Black people. Now, my mom, she just writes it off as, she wasn't really, I mean, she was a part of it, but she kind of wrote it off as, we're in the South, and so people in the South just don't like free thinkers. That's how she kind of wrote it off, because I had a lot of issues with other Black people when it came to that, especially because I was trying to start revolutions at the school. I was like, hey man, we can rise up against these people,
Well, you sound like me, bro.
Yeah, I was like, yo, the SROs, they only have but so many bullets. They can't shoot all of us. Like, we're gonna make it through. So I was on that kind of stuff.
Oh my god, bro, we would have been friends in high school, bro.
Yeah,
So,
man.
yeah, so no, absolutely. So yeah, that's I mean, no, I get it, but what I'm hearing with that is number one, this is why this space exists, and this is why I keep making content. Number two, like I said, this is why I call it the lighthouse, and everybody don't necessarily agree with it at first. That's why we want to stand the test of time, because we know over time, you hear it. I mean, the stuff either makes sense or doesn't. It's either logical, it's not. People want to challenge it, is. But the other part is the length that people, women, these are the same people that will then say, where are all the Black leaders at?
Exactly.
Like I mean, that's exactly what BGS. Y'all heard. I shared
Totally
his channel.
nonsensical.
I shared his channel again down there. If y'all want to check it out, definitely. Because I'm gonna get back to that as well. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because like I'm thinking about the lengths that people are going to shut your, like, again, the church, your own household, the church. This is the dude that ended up with a black woman. He's got a black daughter. Now, you know, this is all the stuff he had to deal with. And then you wonder why dudes are going SYSBM. You wonder why dudes, and I say that because, you know, Clutch, I mean, you telling Clutch has got a similar story with Clutch went west. He's from DC, and his whole family, and it's interesting, especially you saying you light skinned, because Clutch is light skinned. His whole family, he's like different in his whole family.
Ain't my nigga Roshi Clutch boy in Japan right now?
No, Clutch has been in the States for like about a month. Clutch, I ain't go. Well, Clutch left Japan, and then he was somewhere else that I'll let him say where he was, and then he went to he's back on the West Coast now. So yeah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. And again, you know, they be thinking light skinned dudes don't be going through this. Like there's some magical road where stuff just don't happen. You know, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, this has been a good ending to this. I would keep it going, you know, but I told y'all I would do 2 hours. I did an hour and a half. Appreciate y'all for supporting. I could always go live again, and I'm gonna let this play out for. I'll probably lock this down probably in like, I'll give y'all 12 hours. So yeah, I'll give y'all time to kind of look at it. This was a lot of stuff, but I do plan on clipping some of this stuff because there's some real good gems up in here. For real.
Yeah, I sent you the
Yeah, I saw it. I at least
yeah.
saw, and I got the stuff from Ray that you put in the private chat. So I'll go through that.
Yeah, because I was wanting you to see that, man, because you know, that chart, dude, of those different black women.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, any of y'all got any final words before we head out?
No, I'm good, bro. I'm about to go ahead and
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, bro.
No, absolutely. So all right. Well, again, you know, appreciate y'all for getting this. This couldn't have happened without y'all. I plan on trust and believe. I plan on getting to 20,000 very, very quickly. And we're gonna make it happen. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Oh yeah, make sure y'all check out Great Dane's channel. I'll share one of his videos in community tab. I've shared in the chat. He's got some really interesting stuff. If y'all want to get, you know, those kind of stories, because you can tell he's pulling from straight up experience. And you know, I give y'all stories, but you know, I don't usually give y'all like that detailed. So if y'all want to hear more of that stuff, definitely check out his channel. He only got 1,060. So it's definitely a lot of room to pull him up, especially with people like Only Logical and stuff. So I'll probably give a list of people y'all need to check out because they definitely got stuff y'all can do. And yeah, with that being said, this is, let me see if there's any cash apps. Yeah, we got BGS Igmore's TikTok. I gotta really so it's some stuff I got, initiatives I gotta start pushing on top of my other stuff. So yeah, appreciate James for the $2 cash app. All dollars matter. And appreciate Eric Burr for the $2.50 cash app. That stuff goes a long way. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.